Chapter 1039. She took out her phone from her briefcase and saw that it was Chung Ju's assistant, Xiao Luo. Could something have happened? She hurriedly answered the call. What's the matter? President Tang, Sister Chung, and Mia have a scene together in the afternoon. Sister Chang's character is going to be slapped, and I heard that it's going to be a real fight. Is this something serious? Xiao Luo felt that she had to be careful when it came to her artist's face. I'll go over in the afternoon. Okay. After Tang Bao hung up the phone, she met Di Haoyan's sinister and cold gaze. Tang Bao instantly felt guilty and was in the wrong. After all, she was the one who had asked Di Haoyan to accompany her shopping. Although she felt that men would be the happiest when it came to canceling shopping, it was the opposite for Di Haoyan. It didn't seem like she was the one who had asked Di Haoyan to accompany her shopping. She was the one who had asked Di Haoyan to go shopping for clothes. No, she couldn't back down. She had to coax this devil. Hence, Tang Bao inched forward and sat on Di Haoyan's lap with her legs spread apart. She nestled in his arms and wrapped her arms around Di Haoyan's neck. She kissed his thin lips. I have to go to the set, but I think I'll be back soon. Di Haoyan's face was still gloomy, and he stared at her with his cold eyes. Don't be like this. It's my fault. Can you punish me? I'll accept it. Huh? Tang Bao opened her mouth and bared her teeth. She gently slid her lips across Di Haoyan's sexy Adam's apple. Di Haoyan's breathing suddenly became heavy, as if he was trying to suppress it. My dear hubby, I beg for punishment. I beg for punishment. Tang Bao moved around in Di Haoyan's arms, and her little mouth kept torturing Di Haoyan's Adam's apple. Di Haoyan's black eyes were bottomless, as if there was an extremely dangerous whirlpool in them. He wanted to engulf this little vixen and devour her. This little thing simply didn't know how weak his self-control was in front of her. Di Haoyan's big hand suddenly grasped Tang Bao's waist, making her unable to move. Tang Bao had long noticed the changes in Di Haoyan's body. However, in order to appease the devil, she had shamelessly gone all out. But why didn't Di Haoyan push her down? Why did he make her unable to move? I'll punish you when you come back. Otherwise, you won't have the chance to get out of bed, Di Haoyan said in a hoarse and dangerous voice. Tang Bao's face turned red. She knew it would not be that easy, but it was better than not letting her go out. After Tang Bao got into the driver's car, he deliberately rolled down the window and waved at the tall figure at the door. Wait for me to come back. She even blew Di Haoyan a kiss. Di Haoyan was so flirted with her that his whole body trembled and his heart raced. After Tang Bao's car disappeared, he turned around and got into the car. Otherwise, he would have made a fool of himself in broad daylight. This kind of thing could only be shown to Tang Bao. Tang Bao arrived at the set just in time. The director was talking to Chengju and Mia about the scene when she heard Mia say to the director, I hope that the acting will be more realistic. Otherwise, it will be seen as bullying the audience. When the assistant, Xiao Luo, saw Tang Bao, she immediately ran over and explained to Tang Bao she meant to fight for real. And the director agreed. He even praised Mia for being very professional. Usually, it was the director who made such requests. For an actor to make such a request, it was strange. Tang Bao walked up. When the director, Wang Zhu, saw Tang Bao, he quickly smiled politely and said, Mr. Tang is here personally. Go and pour some tea for him. Wang Zhu instructed the assistant director. No need. I specially came over to take a look. I'll be leaving later. This is Chung Ju's first time filming in Song Hong's production team. I want to see how well she can adapt, Tang Bao said with a smile. I've watched Chung Ju's previous drama. It's also a big production. Moreover, I believe in Chung Ju's acting skills. From this, it can be seen that Mr. Tang is good at teaching. Tang Bao smiled. Director Wang, you do your thing. I'll just stand by and watch. If there's anything that Chung Ju can't act well, just say it. This is also very important for her to learn. Actors learn. This saying is not wrong at all, Wang Zhu agreed. The filming began. Chung Ju and Mia were wearing ancient costumes and facing each other under the camera, brewing their emotions. This scene was mainly about Chung Ju being slapped in the face. As long as it was over, it would be fine. However, there were often times when a scene had to be replayed many times. If the director was not satisfied, then the actor had to suffer, especially when Mia wanted to fight for real. For actors to fight for real, it could be understood as a sacrifice for art. Tang Bao was not in a position to say anything. Not only was Mia not from an acting school, she had not even attended high school. Such a person could also have a place in the production team and stand in front of the camera to act. This really made people feel that fate was too complicated and interesting. Of course, since the name could be changed, other qualifications could also be faked. In the entertainment industry, the means were not important. What was important was whether you could climb to the top and whether you had commercial value. Even if you did not have acting skills, it did not matter. Start! Wang Zhu shouted at the camera. On the other side, Mia's eyes immediately turned sharp and sinister. Her emotions were gathered in her pair of exquisite big eyes, and the camera could see it clearly. Then, she raised her hand and slapped the pitiful Chung Ju. Pa! The crisp sound made Chung Ju's ears ring. Her face was slapped to the side. She covered her face and looked at Mia in fear. Then, she directly knelt down, tears falling down one by one. Pass! Wang Zhu shouted. Not bad, not bad. Very realistic and on point. Tang Bao surprisingly passed in one take. Mia is right. The slap is real. It's best to pass in one take. Otherwise, even if it's just one slap, if you act it out a few times, your face will be swollen, Wang Zhu said. Tang Bao looked over and saw Mia smiling elegantly. Tang Bao walked towards Chung Ju. Xiao Luo had already prepared ice cubes for Chung Ju. How was it? Tang Bao asked. Pretty good. Although this slap was a bit harsh, it was still a lot less painful to pass it in one take. This sentence was not wrong. In the past, no matter which director wanted to shoot such a scene, they would never say that it was just one take. They would always shoot several takes. If the effect is good, you only need to shoot one take, Tang Bao said. That Mia, I heard from others that she also graduated from an acting school. Her acting skills are really good, Chung Ju said. Tang Bao was indeed impressed by Mia's acting skills. However, she was very surprised that Mia would use this scene to make things difficult for Chung Ju. She did not expect it to be like this. After the shoot, Mia smiled at her, as if she had seen through Tang Bao's intentions in coming to the set. There was even a hint of sarcasm in it. Tang Bao did not stay on set. Just as he was about to leave, President Tang. Chapter 1040. Actually, you didn't have to come in person. I've said it before, I don't have a grudge against you. Why would I look for trouble? Instead, I'll give you less trouble for my sister's sake, Mia said. It's nothing strange for an artist manager to be present when they're filming. But you really impressed me. You acted better than a professional. Tang Bao was generous with his praise. Thank you. I was just thinking, if I didn't lie to you, would you have signed a contract with me? Tang Bao looked at Mia's scheming face. Even if he didn't lie to her, she wouldn't have signed the contract in the end. Even if Xiao Bao's incident aside, Ding Miao Miao's incident was enough to prove that this woman would become abnormally vicious when it came to her own interests. Why would she sign such a woman? Yes, Tang Bao said. It's just that I think you're doing very well now. I still want to give you a piece of advice. If you want to be a celebrity, do it well. As long as you don't do anything outrageous, God has no time to care about you. Take care of yourself. With that, Tang Bao got into the car and left. Mia looked in the direction of the car with disdain and a sneer. Take care of yourself? You're the one who should take care of yourself, right? Would she lower her status in the eyes of the rest of the crew for a mere Changju? There was no need for that. Her assistant ran over with her phone ringing in her hand. Sister Mia, your phone is ringing. Mia looked at the caller ID and turned to answer the phone. Hello, how does it feel to be a celebrity? Lan Wanru's voice came from the other end. Not bad. I've liked singing since I was young. I didn't expect that I would be suitable for acting. The feeling of being in front of the camera is really good, Mia said. Then she added, I have to thank you, Miss Lan. Don't worry. Even if you don't have the talent, I'll make sure you have a place in the entertainment industry, Lan Wanru promised. Then he asked, have you seen Tanga? He just left. She came to the set just to see if I would bully her artist, but in the end, she left disappointed. Mia laughed. Just don't forget what you really want to do. I definitely won't forget. I will never forget the humiliation that Tang Ge brought to me. I want Tang Ge to be kicked out of the entertainment industry." Mia's eyes were filled with venom. A pair of beautiful eyes with such a gaze was really too unworthy. "Then I'll sit at home and wait for your good news. Don't worry, Miss Lan. I won't let you down," Mia said and hung up. There was a smug smile on her face, as if she was sure to win. Mia was about to go to the bathroom when she heard someone talking inside. "Chungju, can I sign a contract with Ibao Studio? I admire President Tang so much." The person who spoke was the female lead of the movie, Xiao Shuyan. There was no need to talk about his fame. Seeing that the contract with the company was about to end, and for such a famous star, they chose to renew the contract. But Xiao Shuyan was not a law-abiding person. Most importantly, she heard that Ibao Studio had something to do with tea. The people in tea were all from rich families. If they entered the rich family, they would not have to film such tiring movies. Chungju was not as famous as her, and she had even been shelved before. But because she had tea as her backing, not to mention the director, even Zhao Shijin had to give her face. Instead, she stole the limelight. It was obvious that Ibao Studio was definitely a good place with a bright future. "You know President Tang?" Chungju asked. "Of course. I've been following President Tang on Weibo. I think he's very talented, and he's especially handsome and gentle with a hint of abstinence. He's so charming." Chungju was amused. "Are you chasing after your idol? I like President Tang, but he's also a big star with a bright future. Look, if I sign a contract with Ibao Studio, it will only bring benefits to Ibao Studio. It's a sure win. Don't you think so? I don't know if President Tang still wants to recruit new people, but I'll let her know when I see her. But if she doesn't want new people, she can't be disappointed." "Really? That's great. Thank you." After Xiao Shuyan walked out of the restroom, Mia followed her. "Sister Shuyan." Xiao Shuyan turned around. When she saw who it was, she looked a little disdainful. "What's the matter?" "I'm sorry. I accidentally heard what you said to Chungju in the restroom just now. Then I found out about something, so I want to help you," Mia said with a kind expression. "Help me? How? Are you related to Ibao Studio?" Xiao Shuyan did not care if others knew about this, so she did not hide it. "Not really. It's just that a friend of mine who works at Ibao Studio told me a secret." "What is it?" Xiao Shuyan could not help but be interested. "She said that President Tang likes beautiful women. As long as you sleep with him and serve him well in bed, he will agree to any request." "Are you serious?" "I don't think President Tang is that kind of person." Xiao Shuyan was puzzled. If he really is that kind of person, would he show it to you? President Tang is a man who is cold on the outside, but passionate on the inside. He never takes the initiative in such things. He only sees how the beautiful women stimulate him. Xiao Shuyan thought that this man liked this kind of thing. If that was really the case, it would be very easy. However, she was in the entertainment industry after all, so she still had her guard up. "Why are you helping me? Are you plotting something?" "Why would I? I don't have a grudge against you." Mia smiled. Xiao Shuyan thought about it and agreed. She turned and left. Mia could not help but think sarcastically. How could such a person play the lead role? If it were not for the marketing company behind him, he would only be left to fend for himself. However, she felt that there would be a good show to watch. How would Tang Ge explain to the king of D City? She did not believe that she could not destroy Tang Ge. If it was an ordinary female celebrity, it would not affect Tang Ge much. But if it was a famous female celebrity, and she heard that Xiao Shuyan had a rumored boyfriend, the celebrity was also an actor. He was a popular young actor, and the power of his fans could not be underestimated. Would Tang Ge be chased by the fans of both of them? Mia laughed out loud at the thought of that. The next morning, Tang Bao was writing a draft in the studio when her phone rang. It was a text message. Her phone was next to her, so she picked it up and glanced at it. She was stunned. It was a text message from Chungju, asking her to look for her at the hotel. "Hotel? What's the matter? Why do you have to go to the hotel if you have something to say?" Chapter 1041. What was going on? Why was she being so mysterious? Tang Bao found it strange that she could not contact Cheng Ju. She could have contacted anyone in the production team, but she still called Xiao Luo first. The call went through. "Hello, Mr. Tang, what's the matter? Let me ask you, where's Cheng Ju? Did she send me a message? I'm looking for Sister Cheng's phone. She said she left it on the table, but I didn't see it." When Tang Bao heard this, he felt that there was something wrong. He only said, "Then you should look for it. By the way, is Mia on set today?" "Mia isn't here yet. Her scene is in the afternoon." "Got it." After hanging up, Tang Bao thought to himself, "Who could have sent such a message? Mia hasn't gone to the set yet, so it can't be her. But she shouldn't have any grudges with anyone in the production team. She can't be that bored, right?" This person was obviously pretending to be Cheng Ju and asking her to go to a hotel. Why would she go to a hotel? She could not help but send a message to warn him, "I don't care who you are. Don't play tricks behind my back. I advise you to stop before you go too far. Otherwise, if I find out, you'll have to bear the consequences." After the message was sent, it fell silent. Perhaps her warning was effective. At this moment, her phone rang. It was Cheng Ju. "Brother Tang, I found my phone. Xiao Luo said that I sent you a message." Cheng Ju asked. "There is such a person, but I didn't see anything on my phone. It has been deleted. You haven't offended anyone on set recently, have you?" "No, everything is fine. I got it. Be careful. Call me if anything happens." "Okay." After Tang Bao hung up, she thought that if this person did not appear to cause trouble, she would pretend that this matter had never happened. 2 days passed, but nothing happened. Tang Bao felt that his warning was effective, and that person did not dare to play any tricks. So he did not take it to heart. That day, Tang Bao received a call from Zhao Shijin. He said that the screenwriter of a modern drama wanted Meng Shi to play the lead role and asked her for her opinion. Something like this was definitely a good thing, but she had to look at the script. Meng Shi was so famous now that she could not accept any drama. Hence, in the morning, Tang Bao went to meet the scriptwriter. After asking for the contact information, they arrived at the designated hotel. Zhao Shijin said that the scriptwriter had always been in another city and had stayed in a hotel the moment he arrived. This was also very normal. Tang Bao then got in the car and went straight to the hotel. When they reached the floor, Tang Bao found a room and pressed the doorbell. When the door opened, there was a woman in pajamas looking at her flirtatiously. That's right, her eyes were like silk. Xiao Shuyan? Of course, Tang Bao knew her. As a manager, he was no stranger to those who he could not name. "Yeah, are you surprised?" "Are you surprised? Isn't it exciting?" Before Tang Bao could recover from his shock, he was pulled into the room. Then the door slammed shut. After Tang Bao went in, he looked around and saw that only Xiao Shuyan was in the room. What did that mean? Is the scriptwriter not here? Tang Bao asked. Wasn't Xiao Shuyan's behavior too strange? Her face was exquisitely drawn, and her pajamas were faintly discernible. Tang Bao seemed to have thought of something and could not help but thump. Xiao Shuyan's behavior was, Xiao Shuyan pulled down the thin straps on her shoulders, and the pajamas slid smoothly to the floor. She was actually not wearing anything underneath. Tang Bao stared at her in shock. Xiao Shuyan, calm down. President Tang, don't be shy. I put in a lot of effort to coax you here. Xiao Shuyan did not try to hide her embarrassment and posed in what she thought was her most seductive pose. However, Tang Bao's forehead was covered in cold sweat. No matter how seductive you pose, I don't feel anything. Tang Bao suddenly thought of the text message he received a few days ago and asked, You were the one who used Cheng Ju's phone to send the text message? Yes, but you didn't fall for it, so I had to trick President Zhao. But don't worry, President Tang. I definitely have no intention of framing you. I just like you and want to be signed by you. That's why I wanted to be favored by President Tang. Tang Bao simply sighed deeply. After all this, she came to him just to ask for this? Put on your clothes first, Tang Bao instructed her. President Tang, there's only the two of us here. Don't be shy. I'm yours now. You can do whatever you want to me. Whatever I want to you. Tang Bao's anger changed when he heard this. This was the first time he had been teased by a woman. Xiao Shuyan thought that Tang Bao was moved and immediately said, Yes, whatever you want. As long as Tang Bao tries it, He'll know how good I am, and he'll never forget me. Seeing her excited expression, Tang Bao wanted to tell her that he was not moved. She was just shocked. Without looking at Xiao Shuyan, he turned to leave. You can stay here by yourself. I still have something to do. Xiao Shuyan blocked in front of Tang Bao. Don't, President Tang. Tang Bao quickly braked. Otherwise, he would have knocked into Xiao Shuyan's body. She was so frightened that she retreated. Xiao Shuyan, I'm not interested in you. Tang Bao's forehead was covered in cold sweat. President Tang, I know that you're embarrassed. It's okay. I can help you take off your clothes. You just have to lie there and enjoy it. Xiao Shuyan was determined to get into Tang Bao's eyes. There was no appreciation for same-sex objects. It was just an eyesore. Tang Bao turned around and took out his phone to make a call. However, the phone was snatched away by Xiao Shuyan in the next second. She was so angry that her expression turned ugly. Give it to me. Let's go to bed first. President Tang, I won't let you down. If a man encountered this kind of thing, he would definitely not let go of such a beautiful woman who came knocking on his door. But she was not a man. She was a woman. Xiao Shuyan threw her phone aside and pounced on Tang Bao. Tang Bao was directly pushed to the ground by this woman. Fortunately, it was all carpet. Otherwise, she would have cried in pain. Then, Xiao Shuyan's fiery red lips puckered and pressed against him. Hey! Tang Bao was shocked. He dodged Xiao Shuyan's enthusiasm. She was depressed. Was it because she was too successful in disguising as a man that she wanted to sleep with her? Should she be happy with her makeup skills? Tang Bao's neck was kissed all of a sudden. She was so scared that her whole body trembled. That was disgusting. If being kissed by someone of the same sex was not disgusting, then what was? Then he was kissed on the face. Xiao Shuyan looked weak, but she was not weak. Tang Bao struggled a few times, but could not break free. Instead, she kissed him on the face a few times. President Tang, don't reject me. I really like you. Xiao Shuyan said as she pulled Tang Bao's clothes anxiously. His tie was torn off, and 2 buttons on his suit were torn off as well. Chapter 1042. Xiao Shuyan fainted from the impact and fell onto Tang Bao's body. Only then did it stop. Tang Bao pushed Xiao Shuyan away and sat up on the carpet. Panting, she looked at the unconscious Xiao Shuyan. Then, she looked at the ashtray in her hand. She had almost forgotten that she had this skill. If she had thought of it earlier, she would not have ended up in this state. What kind of nonsense is this? Tang Bao stood up from the ground, picked up her briefcase and cell phone, and ran away without looking back. When she entered the elevator, she saw her red lipstick mark on the elevator wall. She was so shocked that she quickly wiped it with her hands. She did not wipe her face clean even when she reached the first floor. She wiped it all the way until she got into the car. When she looked up, she saw the driver's shocked expression through the rearview mirror. Tang Bao knew what he had seen and quickly said, "You don't have to report it to Di Haotian. I'll tell him myself." The driver did not say anything and drove the car dutifully. He was thinking, should I tell him or not? I'm in a dilemma. Along the way, Tang Bao took a napkin and wiped her face with water. She wiped it till her face was red before she wiped it clean. The quality of this lipstick was really good. After entering T's elevator, Tang Bao adjusted her makeup in the elevator. When she saw that there was nothing wrong with it, she was slightly relieved. Just as she entered Di Haotian's office, she fell into a strong embrace and was pressed against the door. A domineering voice was heard. "Where did you go?" "To see the scriptwriter." "How did you know it was me?" "You came in and hugged me." "Aren't you afraid of hugging the wrong person?" "Definitely not. I can smell your scent." As Di Haotian spoke, he was about to kiss Tang Bao's little mouth, but he stopped a few millimeters away from her. What's wrong?" Tang Bao asked nervously. "Why do I smell rouge on my face?" Damn, did this person have a dog's nose? She had already wiped it so hard. How could he still smell it? Di Haotian's vision wavered slightly. There was a lip print on Tang Bao's fair neck under the collar of his shirt. If they were not so close, he would not have noticed it. "What did you go out to do?" Di Haotian's face suddenly turned cold. Tang Bao did not know what Di Haoyan had discovered, but she believed that it was best for her to tell the truth at this moment. If she did not tell the truth, she could not guarantee that the driver would not tell Di Haoyan. I went to see the scriptwriter today, but it wasn't the scriptwriter who was waiting for me. It was a female celebrity who wanted to be controlled by me. Then she pounced on me and accidentally kissed me. She's a woman. Di Haoyan, you won't be angry, right? Tang Bao asked cautiously, because she was not sure about Di Haoyan's temperament. That possessiveness was very twisted. What do you think? Di Haoyan's black eyes were filled with hostility. Very angry, Tang Bao immediately raised both her hands and promised as if she was surrendering. I won't be kissed by a woman next time, okay? I'm already rejecting her. This woman is really scary when she goes crazy. Di Haoyan, I was scared at that time. You still want to do it next time? No, no, no. There won't be a next time. There won't be a next time. Di Haoyan suppressed his gloomy and cold expression from Tang Bao's aggrieved gaze, and he endured it to the extreme. Tang Bao saw him staring at her fiercely, and she was so scared that she breathed carefully. Fortunately, it was a woman. If it was a man who was kissed like this, Di Haoyan would no longer have the patience to ask about it now. That's right, which man would put on such alluring red lips? Even if it was a woman, Tang Bao still had to appease this jealous king. What do you think? It won't be a next time, I swear. Tang Bao did not dare to put down her raised hand. Well, it could be used for some purposes, such as making a gesture to swear an oath. It could also be used to protect against domestic violence. Di Haoyan coldly pulled away. Go and wash up. Okay, I'll go and wash up now. Tang Bao hurried to the lounge. When she was almost at the door, wash up for me. Tang Bao almost bumped into the door. She managed to steady the door handle and turned her head to ask uncertainly. Only my face was kissed. There was no need to wash up, right? Just wash up when I tell you to. Di Haoyan's gaze was fierce. Tang Bao swallowed her saliva, dashed into the room, and slammed the door. As she walked to the bathroom, she muttered, Bastard Di Haoyan, how can I, President Tang, be bullied by you? I'm smooth and slick outside, but in front of you, I'm like a cowardly underling. If those people outside see this, they'll definitely laugh to death. Tang Bao entered the bathroom and took off her clothes. She finally understood why Di Haoyan asked her to take a shower. There were several big red lipstick marks on her neck. She might not be able to wash her face and neck completely. Tang Bao took off her clothes. Her snow-white skin was so white that it glowed. The tattoo that belonged to someone on her waist was very clear. It was as if no matter how many years had passed, or even if it was a lifetime, it would not fade at all. Tang Bao had just stood under the shower when the bathroom door was pushed open. Even though Tang Bao had done all kinds of intimate and shameful things with Di Haoyan, she still felt uncomfortable being stared at like this. She immediately turned around and asked anxiously, What are you doing here? Supervising your shower. I can shower myself. What's there to supervise? She was not a 3-year-old child. What supervision? She thought that he was just being careless. If you don't want to eat lunch on time, then continue to bargain with me. Di Haoyan's voice was low and dangerous. Tang Bao was speechless. It was really strange to be watched as she showered. Her whole body was hot to the point where it felt like those gazes were actually on her body. However, she also knew in her heart that she could not chase Di Haoyan away at all. She had just provoked him, and judging from his expression, he was not over the crisis. If she added fuel to the fire, not to mention having lunch on time, she could directly have dinner. Tang Bao endured the nervousness of being stared at and quickly washed her whole body, especially her face and neck. Although she was washing with all her might, Tang Bao still glanced to the side from time to time. She was afraid that a certain someone would pounce on her. Di Haoyan leaned lazily against the edge of the glass countertop. He looked relaxed, but in fact, he was extremely dangerous. He was constantly staring at his prey. Don't let me smell anything else. Di Haoyan's voice seemed to be extremely patient, but it was still a little hoarse. His voice was not stingy with the threat. Tang Bao washed even more seriously. Showering in front of Di Haoyan was really torturous. Tang Bao suddenly thought of Di Bowling. That little guy also did not like others to touch his butt. Was it like her? She thought that she had washed clean. Besides, there was also the smell. How sticky was that lipstick? Chapter 1043. Even though it was just a bathrobe, it accentuated her slender waist. Her face was flushed, and even her neck was flushed red. Tang Bao's fair feet stepped out of the bathtub and onto the non-slip mattress. However, as soon as she steadied herself, she was carried up in a princess carry. Tang Bao instinctively thought that she had slipped and grabbed Di Hao Ian's broad shoulders tightly. He held her firmly with his powerful strength. In the blink of an eye, they were outside the bathroom. He threw her onto the big bed. The bathrobe was slightly messy and was instantly covered by shadows. Before Tang Bao could get up, her small mouth was clamped and devoured. Tang Bao's body was once again pressed down on the bed by a strong force. Her wrists were locked in a domineering grip, not giving her any chance to escape at all, although she could not escape anyway. After Di Hao Ian kissed her fiercely, his lips moved away slightly. His dark eyes were so deep and dangerous that they seemed to want to swallow her whole. His voice was low and hoarse. That's the taste. Tang Bao panted for a while before she had the strength to speak. Are you referring to the taste of lipstick? If that's the case, it must be gone long ago. However, even if you don't like the taste of lipstick, what's the taste of mine? Let me kiss you for a while more, and I'll tell you. After saying that, Di Hao Ian, who was not satisfied at all, wanted to give her another deep kiss. However, she heard a rumbling sound in her ear. It turned out that Tang Bao's stomach was singing the empty fort stratagem. Tang Bao's face turned even redder. Di Hao Ian's dark eyes were filled with affection as he kissed her little mouth. Change your clothes and eat. After saying that, he let go of her. Tang Bao heaved a sigh of relief. Although the rumbling of her stomach was a little embarrassing, at least she had dodged a bullet. However, when Tang Bao's gaze fell on Di Hao Ian, who was standing up, she deeply felt that it was impossible to say that she had dodged a bullet. There is a saying that one should not be afraid of thieves stealing, but they should be afraid of thieves remembering. Come to think of it, it must be this feeling of uneasiness. Mia was very satisfied with what she had bought. Then, she informed Lan Wanru, and Lan Wanru let her do whatever she wanted. On the other hand, although Mia had not been in the entertainment industry for long, she knew how to make a person suffer. Otherwise, why would she choose Xiao Shuyan? Lan Wanru felt that he hadn't been able to bring Tang Ge down because of the scandal last time, because he hadn't done enough. Back then, they had merely held hands. Now, they had directly booked a room. Would Di Hao Ian just sit back and watch? With a green hat on his head, could he really remain calm? She didn't believe it. When Tang Bao woke up the next morning, he habitually looked for his phone. Then he saw a lot of missed calls on his phone. Chengju, Meng Shi, Xiao Ding, Wang Yulian Lian, Luo Luoli, and Hongqi F***CK. Why did it feel like the entire world was looking for her? It was 9 o'clock in the morning. She woke up early enough. If she had been a little later, would they have all come looking for her? Could it be that they were looking for her for something, and the situation was serious? She didn't hear it because her phone was on silent mode. This must be Di Hao Ian's doing. It was always like this, regardless of whether she had urgent work to do or not. Tang Bao called Xiao Ding back. As soon as the call connected, Xiao Ding's anxious voice came through. President Tang, I finally found you. Where have you been? I just woke up. What's wrong? Just woke up? So, while they were worried to death, she was sleeping comfortably? What happened? Tang Bao asked when Xiao Ding didn't reply. You'd better check the internet. Tang Bao hung up the phone and went to check Weibo. Well, he didn't know until he saw it. He was shocked. She and Xiao Shuyan were on the headlines. The title was, Xiao Shuyan cheated on Love Bao Studios manager. They even said that managers these days were poisonous and liked to be the mistress. In order to prove that this was true, the photos of her and Xiao Shuyan entering the hotel room were all released. She couldn't deny it even if she wanted to. Who did this? The paparazzi? She had never interacted with Xiao Shuyan before. How could the paparazzi take such photos so quickly? Tang Bao felt that Xiao Shuyan couldn't have done this. It wouldn't benefit her at all. Could it be Xiao Shuyan's rumored boyfriend? Tang Bao felt that it wasn't possible. She didn't have any conflicts of interest with Xiao Shuyan or her rumored boyfriend. Why would she do this behind her back? Tang Bao's Weibo, including Cheng Ju and Meng Shi's Weibo, were all scolding her. She's really too shameless. Let's see if I live long enough. That's right. Some time ago, there was a married male celebrity who cheated on his female manager. Why is it another cheating manager now? Are all managers these days so restless? He must want to debut. That's why he's doing this. Maybe he just wants to have an affair with a female celebrity. Xiao Shuyan looks pure and sweet. There are so many men who like her. It's not strange that Love Bao Studios manager is also a man. But no matter how normal he is, he can't be immoral. He has a boyfriend. Breaking news. I just saw it on Xiao Shuyan's Weibo. I heard that Love Bao Studios manager is bisexual. Oh my god. So disgusting. He's too immoral. My worldview is ruined. I'm blind. After Tang Bao saw this sentence, he ran to Xiao Shuyan's Weibo to take a look. They were undoubtedly the freshest scolding comments. And they were all scolding Xiao Shuyan. But in the end, they became scolding her. Tang Bao noticed a comment that changed the direction of the discussion. This person's Weibo name was Little Millet. It said, "You guys can't scold Shuyan. Why don't you scold that man instead? He's also a manager. Will he deliberately frame her to gain popularity?" This comment was drowned out by many comments and was noticed by Tang Bao. He scrolled down, but he didn't find any comments saying that she was bisexual. However, it was screenshotted by a resourceful netizen, and the Weibo name was Little Millet. Tang Bao looked at the Weibo name and muttered to himself, "Maybe we're familiar with each other?" Tang Bao copied the ID and sent it to Xiao Ding, asking her to find a way to find out who this person was. She really wanted to know who was stirring up trouble behind the scenes. After washing up, Tang Bao turned around and went downstairs. However, he felt that the atmosphere was a little strange. The atmosphere was tense and filled with fear. It was only when Di Hao Ian was in the castle. Could it be that Di Hao Ian was still in the castle? Didn't he go to tea? Nowadays, it was Di Hao Ian's job to send the children to school. Logically speaking, he should go to tea after sending the children to school. Tang Bao waved at Zhang Li, who was standing a distance away. Zhang Li hurried forward. "Young madam, what's the matter?" She was acting suspiciously. "Is Di Hao Ian around?" Tang Bao asked in a low voice. Chapter 1044. Seeing that Di Hao Ian had appeared behind her and was looking at her coldly, she immediately went forward with a smile. "Di Hao Ian, why are you still in the castle? Don't you need to go to tea?" Sure enough, she had guessed correctly. Di Hao Ian was in the castle. It was hard to ignore his powerful aura. "Why? Are you disappointed that I'm in the castle?" Di Hao Ian's dark eyes were cold. "Of course not. I was just thinking, didn't you go to send the children off? Why are you back? Does it mean that you're not going to tea today?" "Umph." Di Hao Qian snorted coldly and went to the dining room with a gloomy face. Tang Bao watched the tall figure disappear into the distance and immediately pulled Zhang Li to ask, "Did the young master not have breakfast?" "No. The young master was in the study when the children were eating breakfast. I thought the young master wouldn't send the children off, but who knew that after the children finished eating, the young master would come out of the study. But his expression was very bad. Young madam, don't provoke the young master." Zhang Li was most afraid of these two people having conflict. Once there was a conflict, the whole castle would be like hell, and they would be the ghosts waiting to be thrown into the frying pan. They were scared out of their wits. "Do I look like someone who dares to provoke him?" "I might provoke him even if I don't do anything," Tang Bao said indignantly. Zhang Li expressed his doubts. "Young madam, you really didn't do anything? But usually, when a young master is angry, it's because of you. Are there no exceptions?" Zhang Li thought about it and shook his head firmly. "No." Tang Bao walked to the dining room in disbelief. It seemed to be true. But was it her fault for provoking Di Hao Ian? Di Hao Ian was a big vinegar bucket a demon king. This time, needless to say, he must have found out about what happened on Weibo. That was why she stayed here. Usually, she would either sleep until late in the morning or take the car to tea. Otherwise, she would have gone out with Di Hao Yin in the morning. When Tang Bao arrived at the entrance of the restaurant, he adjusted his emotions, put on the most appropriate smile on his face, and walked in. He sat down at the dining table and said, Di Hao Yin, I heard from Zhang Li that you haven't eaten yet. You should eat more, or you'll be hungry. I'll be worried if you're hungry. Di Hao Yin stuffed a mouthful of food into his mouth. As he chewed, he looked up at her coldly. Tang Bao felt nervous and uneasy being stared at. He hurriedly chuckled and started eating. She took 2 bites but still felt uneasy. She said, Di Hao Yin, about what happened on Weibo, don't talk while eating. Tang Bao pursed his lips and stopped talking. Di Hao Yin just didn't want to talk to her. She was also very innocent. Okay? Didn't they already come clean yesterday and move on from this? Di Hao Yin really couldn't be disobeyed at all. He was practically a pushover. Tang Bao finished eating first. After that, she waited for Di Hao Yin to finish eating and stared at him. Di Hao Yin ate calmly, as if he didn't see her stare. At least, Tang Bao felt that if someone stared at him like that, he definitely wouldn't be able to eat. However, Di Hao Yin seemed to be enjoying it and became calmer. After waiting for Di Hao Yin to finish stuffing the last mouthful of food into his mouth, Tang Bao couldn't wait to explain, I'll get to the bottom of what happened on Weibo. When I find a mastermind, I won't let her off easily. Di Hao Yin, you know it too. No matter what kind of job it is, there will always be various situations. But if I can solve it in the end, it won't be a bad thing. So don't take it to heart. What do you think? Di Hao Yin looked at her gloomily. You think I won't take it to heart? I'm not saying that you won't take it to heart. I just think that this is a small matter, and a small matter that I can solve on my own. Besides, I already came clean with you about this matter yesterday. There's no need to be angry at all, right? I can't do it. Di Hao Yin looked at her sharply. Tang Bao was really on the verge of breaking down. She was also a little irritated. She stood up abruptly. Di Hao Yin, do you really want me to do nothing and just stay in the castle? I don't know what you're angry about. Xiao Shuyan is just a woman. Do you have a hold on her like this? You have your job, and I have mine. I'm tied to you day and night. What are you dissatisfied with? What did you say? Di Hao Yin's face suddenly darkened. The temperature around them dropped sharply, and cold air filled the air. Tang Bao couldn't help but be frightened, and her body stiffened. Zhang Li, who was outside, was so anxious by Tang Bao that he was about to die. He had already said that he wouldn't provoke the young master. Why was he still provoking him so fiercely? Tang Bao's tone softened, but she still hoped that Di Hao Yin could understand her words. She said, Di Hao Yin, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I hope you can understand me. Understand why you appeared in front of me with lipstick marks on your face? It's just lipstick marks. Tang Bao felt that this couldn't be any more insignificant. Then what else do you want? Di Hao Yin's eyes were dark and ruthless. Tang Bao gritted her teeth in anger. When did I say that I wanted anything else? Can you even understand what I mean? Di Hao Yin's extremely cold expression was extremely terrifying, and his dark eyes were filled with hostility. Tang Bao felt that at this moment, Di Hao Yin wanted to tear her apart. When Di Hao Yin suddenly stood up, she was so scared that she took a big step back. However, Di Hao Yin just brushed past her and left, wrapped in the chilly wind. Tang Bao came back to her senses and chased after him. Di Hao Yin, let me tell you, don't casually put labels on people. If you want to be angry, then be angry. If you want to be jealous, then be jealous. Let me tell you from now on, if I say another word to you, my surname is Pig. Tang Bao was so angry that she finished speaking in one breath. She turned around, picked up her briefcase, and left. However, before she could cross the threshold of the hall, 2 black figures descended and blocked her way. They were 2 bodyguards. What are you doing? Get out of the way, Tang Bao ordered. The 2 bodyguards were like door gods, and they didn't move at all. Tang Bao was so angry that she tried to push them away. However, She felt that she was pushing against a wall that wouldn't budge no matter how hard she tried. She was so angry that she turned around and shouted at Di Hao Ian's back. Di Hao Ian, let me out if you dare. I still have work to do. What's the point of doing this? Di Hao Ian, who was going up the stairs, turned around slightly and stared at her with his deep and sharp eyes. Although he was far away, his strong pressure did not diminish at all. Then, he replied with 4 words, "It's very interesting." After that, he went back to the study without looking back. Tang Bao couldn't believe Di Hao Ian's strength. She was so angry that she rolled up her sleeves and was about to step forward. However, Zhongli pulled her back. Chapter 1045. Why are you pulling me? Tang Bao was furious. Zhongli was stunned and let go of her hand. However, when she let go, Tang Bao asked again, "Why didn't you pull me back? Pull me harder. No matter how hard I struggled, you wouldn't let go." Zhongli had no choice but to pull Tang Bao's clothes again. Tang Bao shouted at the closed study from afar, "Don't pull me. Why are you pulling me? I want to fight with Di Hao Ian. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? You like to use force for no reason. So what if you're the king of the capital? Zhongli, why are you pulling me? Don't pull me. I must seek justice for myself today. Otherwise, I swear I won't give up. I told you not to pull me. Can't you hear me?" As she shouted, she held Zhang Li's hand tightly, afraid that her hand would let go of her clothes. Zhang Li felt that she was too ashamed to listen to her. "Di Hao Qian, let me tell you, if Zhang Li hadn't pulled me back, I would have rushed to your study and fought with you." Tang Bao shouted again and then stopped, indicating that Tang Bao could let go. Zhang Li didn't expose Tang Bao. She coaxed her and said happily, "The young master must be afraid of you, young madam. So he hid in the study and didn't come out, right? I think so too. If a tiger doesn't show its power, I'll be treated as a sick cat. Let me tell you, Di Hao Ian is really too much. He won't even let me out of the door. I think I should train a group of bodyguards too. I don't believe it." Zhang Li was shocked. If they were trained, would there be any peace in the castle? "Zhang Li, have you ever seen someone as domineering as Di Hao Ian?" Tang Bao asked as if she had found a confidant. "The young master is the king of the capital. No one dares to compete with him. But I think the young master must be angry because he cares too much about young madam." "Care? You don't want to let me out just because you care?" He thought it was quite interesting. "You heard what he said just now. Is this a human rights society? There is none here in Di Hao Ian." Yes. There must be something wrong with the young emperor. However, he was the king of the emperor's city. His status was inviolable. Actually, as long as young madam says a few nice words, young master definitely won't be angry. Why should I say something nice? Tang Bao was puzzled. "But if we take a step back, everything will be fine," Zhang Li said. "Why should I retreat?" Why didn't he retreat? "Retreat my ass." "Young madam, you're getting more and more rude. You're like this outside too? I don't think so, right?" Tang Bao was so angry that he did not want to talk. He sat on the sofa and looked at his phone. Then, he returned the missed calls one by one. "Tell them I'll take care of it." Those who knew that she was a girl were all laughing at her. They asked her if she was amused by this kind of scandal. Fun. So fun that she couldn't leave the house after quarreling with Di Hao Qian. Especially one Malay. Tang Bao wondered if she had laughed until her teeth were gone. She even asked what Di Hao Ian was thinking. Thinking? His thoughts were domineering and strong. His reverse scale could not be offended. Chengju had always believed in Tang Ji's ability to deal with things calmly, but she was also worried that Xiao Xian's fans would besiege them. Tang Bao told her that it was fine. She was being framed. She would find out the mastermind behind it. As for Meng Shi, explain to me clearly. Why did you go to a hotel with that stupid woman? Tang Bao face-bombed and was speechless. Since when did she need to explain to Meng Shi? It was as if she had an affair with him. It was like a cuckolded husband questioning his cheating wife. If Di Hao Ian were to find out about this, there would be another wave of trouble. Even if I really went to a hotel with a woman, why are you so nervous? What does it have to do with you? Who was the artist and who was the manager? How was it none of my business? I can't see you go astray. Also, you can't be half-hearted. Astray? Half-hearted? Tang Bao was confused by his description. What future can I have with a female star? If it's not astray, then what is it? Meng, she questioned in a bad tone with a hint of jealousy. Then may I ask, you used to be in headlines with a female star every 2 to 3 days, but now you haven't gone astray? That's because I'm strong-willed. You, on the other hand, are obviously not strong-willed. Then what do you mean by me being half-hearted? Since you like men, don't be ambiguous with women. That's all you want to ask? If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Don't hang up. I haven't finished speaking yet. What's going on between you and that woman? Don't worry. If I can't even solve such a thing, why would I be your manager? Meng Shi's tone immediately changed to that of a little fangirl. I knew you were good. I also believe that you wouldn't like that kind of tacky woman. I'm much better than that kind of woman. Tang Baoxiang thought to himself. Are you jealous? I'm not the king. After hanging up the phone, Tang Bao collapsed on the sofa. He glanced at the tightly shut study room. The person inside was the real king, and he was a king who was not easy to serve. Tang Bao walked towards the door, and the bodyguard who had disappeared just now immediately appeared again. He blocked the door tightly. What are the two of you doing? I just want to walk around the castle. I feel uncomfortable being stuck here. Can't I do that? Tang Bao asked in annoyance. Zhongli also came up and said, Don't be so strict. Young madam doesn't go out of the Iron Gate. If she wants to, you can stop her. Tang Bao was speechless. The bodyguards were also active. Who didn't know that young madam was the young master's favorite person? If she really died from holding it in, they wouldn't be able to bear the responsibility. Thus, they made way. Tang Bao then walked out. After going out, he felt a little better. Tang Bao wandered to the rose garden and looked at the fiery red roses. Smelling the fragrance, there wasn't even a single withered flower. This made Tang Bao's lips curl up slightly. Zhang Li, who was standing beside him, saw him smiling and said, On account of the roses that young master has brought for you, calm down. Calm down? Am I angry? It seems like he's the one who's angry, isn't it? Tang Bao was unhappy when he heard that. Then do you need many madams to coax young master? No. Tang Bao left the rose garden and went to the swing. He sat on the swing and swayed leisurely. There was a hint of resentment on one side. Di Hao Yin must be the only one in this world. He's domineering, strong, and bad-tempered. Zhongli said, Young madam, think about how well young master treats you. I still want to treat him well when we're quarreling? Then I treat him well too. Why can't he think of my good points? Tang Bao thought of something and couldn't help but chuckle. Zhongli looked at him in shock. Could he have been angered to the point of becoming stupid by the young master? Young madam, are you okay? Chapter 1046. She just thought that if they quarreled like this, would she not have to serve Di Hao Ian at night? She would cherish this sudden holiday very much. So she smiled happily again. Zhongli was a little worried and hurried to look for Lian. Supervisor, let me tell you, young madam is giggling while playing on the swing. Could it be that she was agitated and broke down here? Zhongli tapped his head and asked. No way. She must have thought of something good, Lian said. Isn't she quarreling with young Master D? What could it be? Zhongli was puzzled. And I don't understand what's going on between husband and wife. It's normal that we don't understand. But don't worry, young Master D won't let young madam become stupid. Zhongli thought about it and asked, When do you think young madam and young Master D will reconcile? I don't know, Lian said and left. Zhongli glared at Lian's back and muttered, You only know how to say you don't know. Tang Bao sat on the swing and was a little sleepy. Zhongli walked over. Young madam, it's time for lunch. Tang Bao raised her head and looked at Zhongli with misty eyes. Then she said, Tell Ian to change this swing to a bench swing. When I'm tired, I can lie on the bed and sleep. At night, I can even look at the stars. Don't you think so? Yes, I'll get the supervisor to do it when young madam is eating. When young madam is done eating, the bench swing will definitely be ready. Where's Di Hao Yin? Tang Bao thought of something and asked. Young Master D has already entered the restaurant. Tang Bao leaned her head against the rope. I don't want to eat. Are you not eating because young Master D is here? Or do you really not want to eat? Young madam, it's not good to not eat. You'll be hungry. Oomph, I don't have an appetite. Don't worry about me. Young madam, how can I not care about you? You'll starve yourself. Zhongli was anxious. It's okay. I used to skip meals anyway. It's okay to starve for 1 or 2 meals. She used to skip meals when she was busy with work. But won't you make the young master even angrier? If I don't do this, would she not be angry? I was indirectly telling him that what he did was wrong, and that it was even more abominable to put me under house arrest for no reason. If you want to shut me down, then shut me down. In any case, I won't bother with him. Zhongli walked towards the restaurant with his nerves stretched taut. He didn't dare to go in when he was at the door. She didn't dare to say that young madam didn't want to eat. Di Hao Ian, who was sitting at the dining table without taking a bite of his food, glanced at the entrance of the dining room with an indifferent expression. Then he retracted his gaze coldly, and his expression became even more frightening. Before Zhongli even entered the door, he could already feel the cold yin qi, so he was even more afraid to enter. Lian glanced at the door and walked over. He lowered his voice and asked Zhongli, "What happened? Young madam doesn't want to eat?" "You guessed right. Young madam said she wasn't in the mood to eat. What should I do? I don't dare to go in and say it." Lian knew that she didn't dare to say it, so he came to ask. Then he also braced himself and walked into the dining room. He nodded slightly and said, "Young master, young madam said that she's not in the mood to eat." Zhang Li, who heard it from outside. He didn't have to say it directly, right? He should have been more tactful. Otherwise, what if the two of them quarreled even more? Right now, the young master's expression was even scarier. Di Hao Ian's face was cold as he stood up and said, "Put away." After saying that, he left. Zhongli saw Di Hao Ian come out and quickly lowered his head even more. She only dared to raise her head after the cold wind blew past and disappeared. She quickly entered the dining room and questioned Lian. "What's wrong with you? How can you say that? Look, the young master is even angrier." "Why didn't you tell the young master?" She didn't want to. "It's okay. The young master can choose not to eat, but young madam must eat. Go and tell young madam that the young master is full and let her eat." "Will this work? Go and try." "Oh." Zhongli walked out doubtfully and went to call Tang Bao. Tang Bao was still napping on the swing, his head still nodding. Zhongli was really impressed. They had already quarreled, yet he was still in the mood to sleep. "Young madam, the young master has finished eating and returned to the study. You should go and eat. Otherwise, you'll be hungry later. Even if you're not in a mood, you can eat less." Zhongli persuaded. He ate so quickly, Tang Bao was puzzled. Yes, Zhongli didn't dare to say that the young master didn't eat. If he said that, and young madam didn't eat, then it would be a waste of time. Tang Bao thought for a moment. "All right, I'll eat less." Then Tang Bao returned to the dining room and saw that the dishes on the table were almost untouched. He asked, "Di Hao Ian ate? Why do I feel like he didn't eat?" Zhongli quickly said, "It's the young master who ate less." Tang Bao didn't ask any more questions and started to eat by himself. He said that he would eat less, but in the end, he ate a lot. While Tang Bao was eating, Zhongli told Lian about making a bench swing. Therefore, when Tang Bao finished eating and went to the swing, he saw the bench swing. He touched it curiously and sat on it. "Lian, you're really efficient. I only had a meal, and you've already prepared it for me?" "It's just a simple matter," Lian said. "Is there a problem? If you want to make any changes, you can tell me." "No need. This is pretty good. I like it," Tang Bao said as he lay on it. He looked up at the sky that was covered by the dense branches. When the sunlight shone down, it was like stars in the sky. It was very beautiful. It was still cool. He even felt sleepy. Zhongli whispered to Lian, "Young madam is really getting better and better. She's arguing as if nothing happened." Lian looked at Tang Bao and said something incisive. "The person who is loved has nothing to fear." Zhongli didn't understand. "What do you mean? Nothing?" Lian left. Di Hao Ian stayed in the study. On the surface, he looked like he was dealing with work, but he was basically distracted. No matter how complicated the numbers were, they were all too simple for him to understand. But now, he couldn't look at them at all. Of course, his expression was still very cold. So much so that when Lian entered, he felt that the study was colder than outside. Young master, young madam is done eating. Do you want to go and eat something? No need. Di Hao Ian's face was cold and arrogant as he continued to look at the computer documents. Yes. Lian was about to leave after saying that. She didn't mention me? No. Di Hao Ian's face suddenly turned cold. Lian didn't say anything else and quickly left the place. When Di Hao Ian found Tang Bao was lying on the bench swing and sleeping soundly. Di Hao Ian was so angry that he had nowhere to vent his anger, but he didn't wake Tang Bao up. He turned around and left. Chapter 1047. Do you still need to hear about this? Just by feeling the atmosphere in the castle, I'll know what happened. That's true. Young madam also pitted us. Once the young master becomes scary, the castle is like hell. It makes me feel cold all over. But although they quarrel, I feel that the young master still dotes on young madam. Why do you say that? Didn't you see the young master's expression when he was standing beside young madam just now? Although it was very ugly, it didn't wake young madam up. Ah, look, the deputy supervisor even brought a thin blanket. The young master must have asked him to bring it, afraid that young madam would catch a cold. The other servants looked over and indeed saw Zhang Li walk to Tang Bao with a thin blanket and gently cover her. That's true. Although they quarrel, I feel that young madam is so happy. I've been reading a CEO novel recently. The male lead in it is very domineering, but I still feel that he's not as domineering as the young master. He dotes on his wife so much that he has no principles at all. That's right. Anyway, ever since young madam was born, the young master has always lowered his head to her first. How about this? Let's make a bet to see who will lower his head first this time. Okay? I bet on the young master. I bet on the young master too. I bet on the young master too. Why isn't anyone betting that young madam will lower her head first? If you bet that young madam will lower her head first, you'll lose. I don't believe it. I have to bet that young madam will lower her head first, the little servant said unhappily. Tang Bao woke up naturally and realized that the sunlight couldn't shine through. She returned to the hall. When she saw Zhang Li, she asked, "Where's Di Hao Ian?" "Young madam." The young master went to pick up the child. Oh. Tang Bao walked to the sofa and sat down. She had just woken up and was still a little dazed. However, when her phone rang and she saw the caller ID, she was slightly awake. "Have you found out?" Tang Bao's voice was slightly hoarse. "Yes, I found out. This is a female celebrity's alternate Weibo account. That female celebrity is called Mia, but I've never heard of this celebrity. Did she just come out? She actually used a smurf account to talk nonsense behind my back. How despicable." Tang Bao was not surprised at all when he heard the truth. She knew it. If Mia was such a well-behaved person, she would have made a mistake. In fact, she was quite a good judge of character. She's in the same crew as Chung Ju. She's an artist under Tsang Hong. "Don't worry, just leave her be for now. I'll deal with her," Tang Bao said. "Yes." After hanging up the phone, Tang Bao held his phone and thought about how to deal with this matter. Announce Mia's alternate account and main account together? But if that was the case, would it be dangerous for the Mia? Tang Bao felt that it was absolutely necessary to announce that she was Mia, but not now. This was because all the fans, reporters, and onlookers were now looking at her. If they were to reveal Mia's bad intentions at this time, it would be disadvantageous to them. People would say that Mia exploded because she couldn't stand it anymore, and that she was a person with a sense of justice. At that time, wouldn't it make things worse for Tang Bao? Who would listen to her explanation? She might as well pretend that she didn't find out and let Mia let her guard down and get carried away. When the time came and clarified, she would deal a blow to her. Such a scheming person, he definitely shouldn't give her any face. Even if she was spared, she would not be grateful at all. Instead, she would be even more rampant behind her back. The phone in her hand rang. Tang Bao looked at it and saw that it was an unfamiliar number. Her number was confidential, and reporters would not be able to find her number. Who was it? She picked up. However, as soon as the call connected, the voice on the other end sounded very angry. Tang, I didn't expect you to be such a person. How dare you frame me? Tang Bao was confused by the sudden voice. You're Xiao Shuyan? Why, you didn't expect me to come to you, did you? Indeed, I didn't expect you to accuse me first, Tang Bao said calmly, one hand on the pillow next to him. When the three children were playing on the sofa in the living room, they accidentally dirted the pillow and couldn't wash it off. Zhongli said it was a pity when he changed it. Only then did Tang Bao know that the pillow cost hundreds of thousands. Every time Tang Bao sat on the sofa, it was as if he was sitting on a pile of money. If a pillow cost so much, wouldn't the sofa be even more expensive? I'm the one who accuses you first? Am I crazy? Why would I slander myself like that? Xiao Shuyan couldn't believe it. Then go and look at the comments on the internet. It seems that I'm more pitiful than you, right? Xiao Shuyan was speechless for a moment and choked, because she did see the attacks on the internet. According to the percentage, 80% of them were attacking Tang Go. Is it really not you? But if it's not you, who else could it be? Tang Bao rolled his eyes in his heart. Was her brain kicked by a donkey? I don't know. If Tang Bao told her who he suspected, this brainless girl would definitely expose him immediately. Did you offend anyone recently? How did I offend anyone? You're the one who offended someone, right? Otherwise, why would the internet attack you? Oh, this time she hit the nail on the head. That's right. It was so obvious that even Xiao Shuyan could feel it. Did you want to get close to me in the beginning, or did someone introduce you to me? Have you told anyone about it? Yes. Who? Chengju. No. Xiao Shuyan thought for a moment. There really is one, the female celebrity called Mia. She told me that you like beautiful women and wanted to get close to you as long as she gave herself to you. But I don't think it's her. We all know Mia's personality in the crew. She's nice to everyone and even buys us food. If she's really so annoying, she wouldn't be so nice to us. Tang Bao couldn't help but complain. He had just praised her in his heart, but she revealed her true colors again. But Xiao Shuyan couldn't be blamed. She knew too well what kind of scheming Mia was. She liked to cater to others. Then, she quickly got along with others and birds of feather flocked together. Just as he was on the phone with Xiao Shuyan, Di Haoyan came back with the two babies. Mommy, Mommy, the two babies ran happily towards Tang Bao with their short legs. Then they stuck to Tang Bao. Tang Bao smiled and patted their heads. Then he gently poked their pink and tender little faces. He felt that they were especially bouncy and cute. Anyway, he didn't look at Di Haoyan. As he played, he had to call Xiao Shuyan. Chapter 1048. I'm still angry. Don't touch me. Tang Bao was furious. She insisted on getting off Di Haoyan's body. She did not even care if she would fall and fall. How could Di Haoyan let her fall? It was even more impossible for him to let go. He carried her directly into the room. He threw Tang Bao onto the bed and pressed her down forcefully like a mountain. You. Di Haoyan's dark eyes emitted a sharp light. The deep vortex in them was boiling, as if he was suppressing something. I can't sleep without you. Tang Bao, who was struggling, suddenly froze. She forgot to react and stared blankly into Di Haoyan's dark eyes that were about to swallow her whole. Her heart was thumping wildly. Was he saying that he could not sleep without her? That he could not sleep without her? Therefore, when Di Haoyan kissed her, she did not react. After she reacted, there was no room for her to struggle. She was already completely under Di Haoyan's control. What did he mean by saying that she could not sleep without him? He clearly wanted her. The devil. He kissed her until she was hovering between life and death before letting her go. Tang Bao looked at the dark figure above her with tears in her eyes. She felt dizzy and lacked oxygen. How could she still be angry after being kissed like this? It was already good enough that she had some oxygen. You let me go out tomorrow, right? Tang Bao asked while panting. Her small face was bright red. No. Di Haoyan looked at her with his deep and sharp eyes. Why not? I've already let you kiss me. Tang Bao said very reasonably. Didn't you deliberately not talk to me because you didn't want me to touch you? Di Hao Yin looked at her dangerously. Tang Bao could not help but laugh. However, she immediately suppressed it and held it back. You're talking nonsense. I'm not. I'm really angry. Don't you think I'm angry? Moreover, you locked me in the castle and did not let me out. Isn't that a heinous crime? Or should I be happy that you're treating me this way? Of course I don't want to sleep in the same room as you. How could Di Hao Yin not see through the cover-up in Tang Bao's words? It was not as if he did not see the smile at the corner of his mouth. This little thing really couldn't do anything to her, and he didn't want to sleep at night without her in his arms. He thought that since the Tang Bao was back, he would not have any trouble sleeping alone. But he found that he had an obstacle in this regard. Previously, they had slept separately because of an argument, so he couldn't fall asleep the whole night. Now, he didn't want to do it again. Even if he had to tie her up, he wanted to tie her up by his side. Are you still angry? Di Hao Yin asked in a low voice. Tang Bao met Di Hao Yin's deep, dark eyes. Her eyes flashed. She was no longer angry because of Di Hao Yin's kiss. But wouldn't it be too unprincipled of her to be coaxed so easily? So she said no, not at all. I'm still very angry now. I'm so angry that I'm going crazy. Tang Bao was talking enthusiastically when a shadow suddenly fell on her. She was so frightened that she stopped abruptly. Their lips were only about a millimeter apart, as if they were in danger of sticking to each other at any time. And Di Hao Yin's suddenness made her feel as if she was standing in an open space. And then a huge rock suddenly fell from the sky. Just when she thought it was going to hit her, the huge rock suddenly stopped. Her heart was beating unrealistically. It was so difficult. Why did you stop talking? Di Hao Yin's dark eyes were about to turn into water when he saw her adorable stunned expression when she was frightened, and he wanted to drown the person below him. Tang Bao was about to speak. Di Hao Yin spoke first in a low and hoarse voice, then don't say any more. After saying that, he blocked Tang Bao's bright red lips again. Tang Bao's breathing stopped, and her face turned red. She was furious. Who said that I'm not going to say it? How can I say it when you're blocking my mouth? However, Di Hao Yin did not give her a chance to speak again. What happened next was naturally indescribable. In a corner of the castle, there was a gamble going on. There were winners and losers. I'm not convinced. There was only one person who lost, and it was the maid who bet that Tang Bao would bow down first. What are you not convinced about? Didn't you see how young master went to Mrs. Room to look for young madam? Also, when he came out, young madam was very angry. Young master even carried young madam back to her room with a doting expression. Didn't you see it when you were with me? Another maid said, That's right. You have to admit defeat. Do you understand? I told you not to gamble with luck, but you didn't listen. Now that you've lost, who can you blame? The maid really wanted to cry, but had no tears. Why can't young master break it off for once? Next time, you'll have to remember. Just as they were collecting the money, the supervisor suddenly appeared. They were so scared that they quickly put away the money. However, Li In still saw it, and the maid didn't dare to pick up the money that fell to the ground. What are you doing? Li In looked at them sternly. The male and female servants lowered their heads and didn't say anything. You're not going to say it? Li In asked. How would they dare to not say it? The maid who lost lowered her head and said that she had no choice. She was the only one who lost. Perhaps she had nothing to lose. Supervisor, we were gambling. Gambling? Since when can we gamble in the castle? Li In seemed to ask with an uncertain tone. It wasn't a very strict voice, but it was enough to make them not dare to breathe loudly. Supervisor, I'm sorry. We didn't do it on purpose. Actually, we didn't bet on anything else. We just bet on who would give in first if young master and young madam quarreled. Then we found out that it was young master, so aren't you getting bolder and bolder? Betting on young master and young madam? Li In's tone became heavier. Is there need to bet on such a thing? When the other servants heard this, they thought, why did it sound like there was no need to bet? It was definitely young master who had given first. However, they didn't dare to say it out loud. What if they misunderstood the supervisor's words? Wouldn't they suffer even more? I'll let it go this time, but there won't be a next time. When they heard that Leanne let them go, they immediately heaved a sigh of relief and laughed. However, the next second they laughed out loud. Hand over all the money. Supervisor, we don't want it, right? It wasn't easy for me to win. Then you want one person to take turns to be responsible for the cleaning of the entire castle? Leanne asked. They were so shocked that they turned pale. No need, Supervisor. We'll pay. Then, they hurriedly handed the money to the supervisor. There was no choice. The work of the entire castle was divided. If one person did it, even if he didn't sleep for 24 hours, he wouldn't be able to complete it. Losing the money was a small matter, but losing their lives was a big matter. Tang Bao hadn't woken up in the morning. She reached out and hugged Di Haoyan's arm. Di Haoyan turned to look at her. Chapter 1049. Then, she slowly opened her eyes. She still looked very sleepy. This was all Di Haoyan's fault. She did not sleep well last night. I'll let you go. As soon as Di Haoyan said this, Tang Bao's head rested on the bed. She breathed evenly and fell asleep again. Her beautiful shoulders were exposed, and there were red bite marks on her fair skin. It made one's imagination run wild. Di Haoyan's gaze fell on Tang Bao's body. Then, he lifted the blanket completely. Tang Bao was naked under the blanket. Di Haoyan's dark eyes suddenly darkened. However, when he saw the red bite marks on her skin, he was very satisfied with his masterpiece. Tang Bao, who was sleeping, felt a sense of insecurity. She shrank her body and groaned, "Stop messing with me." Di Haoyan let her go and covered her with the blanket. He did not look again. Otherwise, the two of them would not have to go out today. Di Haoyan did not go to tea in the morning. He came back after dropping the children off. Tang Bao woke up from the bed and was surprised to see Di Haoyan sitting on the sofa in front of the computer in the bedroom. Di Haoyan, have you not gone out yet? Or did you go out and come back? I came back after dropping them off at school. You're not going to tea today? Tang Bao asked. Let's go together after lunch. You're here to drop me off? You don't have to go through so much trouble. It's not like I don't have a car. You're the one who assigned the chauffeur, okay? What's there to worry about? I want to go with you, Di Haoyan said directly. Tang Bao's face heated up, but she did not say anything else. Tang Bao got out of bed and moved her body with difficulty. However, she felt Di Haoyan's gaze on her. It felt so real when it fell on her body. However, she tried her best to ignore it. As long as she did not flirt with Di Haoyan, she was safe. After lunch, he left the castle with Di Haoyan. Tang Bao got out of the car at the entrance of the studio. Di Haoyan was really strange. He could have entered tea from the underground parking lot, but he insisted on going together. He made it look very ostentatious. Before he entered the office, Tang Bao could imagine the scene behind him without looking back. She suddenly turned around, and the whispering crowd immediately dispersed. Did he think she couldn't see it? Little Ding said, "Hee, President Tang, they're not talking about you. They're talking about work." Do you have to be so nervous about talking about work? The meeting starts in 10 minutes, Tang Bao said. All right. 10 minutes later, they gathered in the conference room. Tang Bao walked in and adjusted his bow tie. Recently, I've become a popular person on the internet. You should all know about it, right? He's even more popular than Mengshi Qingjue. This statement was rather humorous. The others couldn't help but laugh. President Tang, I think you're quite suitable to debut. That's right, President Tang. If you debut, the other artists will have nothing to eat. If that's the case, it's better for you to be an agent. Who wants to kidnap my agent? The voice was heard before the person arrived. Then, he saw Mengshi and Chengju walking in together. Mengshi pulled a chair and sat down at the table with a displeased expression. Chengju also sat down. Brother Mengshi, who would dare to kidnap President Tang? We're all joking. We just feel that President Tang is more popular than you now. Don't be jealous. No, I won't be jealous, but I won't allow anyone to touch a tiger's head. Mengshi's gaze turned cold. Everyone present understood what he meant and what he was referring to. The content of Tang Bao's meeting was about the incident on the internet. Tang Bao leaned back slightly and said, "It's not hard to see that someone is messing with me. However, it's not my first day in the entertainment industry. I've seen all kinds of storms. It's a completely trivial matter. You guys can do whatever you need to do. Mengshi and Chengju can continue filming their own scenes and pretend that nothing happened. President Tang, what kind of villain would do this to you? Do you know that Xiao Shuyan? An employee asked. I'm afraid there's no one in the entertainment industry who doesn't know Xiao Shuyan, but I've never interacted with her before, Tang Bao said. President Tang, could it be that Xiao Shuyan has taken a fancy to you? An employee made a bold guess and asked with a smile. That's right. President Tang is so handsome and elegant. Who wouldn't like a girl when they see him? Tang Bao smiled. I'm a man with a family. I can't just stick to someone just because they like me. No way. President Tang, are you really married? We've only heard about it. President Tang, aren't you too good at keeping it a secret? President Tang, I wonder which beauty is so lucky to be favored by President Tang? President Tang, if you have a family, then the young master. That person had just finished speaking when the person beside him stepped on his foot. Then, he immediately stopped talking. Mengshi's expression was very ugly. If you say another word, I'll tear your mouth off. Mengshi was usually very easy to talk to, but his temper came faster and fiercer. It was unbearable. Therefore, that person immediately didn't dare to speak. That's enough. I didn't tell you that I have a family because I don't think it has anything to do with work, so there's no need to say it. Tang Bao stopped there and made them feel that he had a family, so they had doubts about her relationship with Di Haoyan. Anyway, she didn't deny that the other half of her family was Di Haoyan. Let's talk about those attacks on the internet. Although I said that there's no need to pay attention to them, you still need to pay attention to their movements, especially that Mia's alternate account. I told you about it, right? Don't worry, President Tang. We've been keeping an eye on it. That Mia's alternate account isn't very active, but she's very smart. Every time, she appears in a timely manner and plays a role in creating momentum. Now, the internet is saying that you like both men and women. They even said that Xiao Shuyan is a victim. Chengju said, this is the effect of public relations. But President Tang, if we don't say anything, is that okay? Xiao Ding asked. Just say something today. You don't need to say anything else. Just say that you're friends with Xiao Shuyan. It's normal to meet friends. It's fine as long as you don't admit it, Tang Bao said. Before the others could understand what was going on, Mengshi approached Tang Gu with a fawning expression. Tang Gu glared at him coldly before he sat up properly. Gu, you're too smart. You're taking advantage of this popularity to create momentum for Chengju's new show. Tang Bao didn't deny it. There's also your show. It's going to be broadcast in half a month. Since we've started the fire, we naturally can't let it go out. Mengshi sneered. If it's about to go out, we'll add some firewood, Tang Bao said. Then what firewood do we have? There's not much point in repeating today's statement, Chengju asked. Tang Bao's clear eyes were calm and sharp as he looked at everyone below the stage and said, this is why I asked you to keep an eye on Mia's alternate account. Chapter 1050. This Mia is a newcomer. She definitely doesn't know how to survive in the entertainment industry. Tang Bao thought to himself, how is this Mia not knowing how to survive in the entertainment industry? She's not interested in it at all, so we just need to be calm. No storm can break us, Tang Bao said. But this storm is still quite scary. Mr. Tang, you don't know how many fans gathered here yesterday. It was scary. There were also many people in black uniforms. I'm thinking that they should be young Emperor's people. I only see people like that around young Emperor. That's right. Those brainless fans came to our studio and wanted to bet on Mr. Tang. If they really bet on him, that would be scary. Fans came to cause trouble yesterday. Tang Bao frowned slightly. Yes, there were so many. They even wanted to enter our studio to cause trouble. Fortunately, young Emperor's bodyguards stopped them. Otherwise, our studio would have been smashed. Tang Bao lowered his gaze slightly. Other than Di Haoyan, Tang Bao didn't believe that anyone else would do this. In other words, Di Haoyan was quarreling with her and getting angry while dealing with the matters here. Tang Bao couldn't help but smile when he thought of the two of them quarreling fiercely yesterday. When Meng Shi saw the sweet smile on Tang Bao's face, his expression instantly turned extremely ugly. What bodyguards? Don't treat the gangsters as bodyguards. Be careful that I don't call the police. Meng Shi slammed the table loudly. Tang Bao looked at him speechlessly. Are you crazy? How am I crazy? I'm telling the truth. These people only know how to worship me here. You should worship me the most. Do you understand? Meng Shi's face was cold as he lectured them one by one. The others didn't say anything. Although they didn't know why Meng Shi was angry, they were all dumbfounded. However, it was precisely because they didn't know the reason that they had to find evidence for him to see. Xiao Zhao from the technical department showed the video to Meng Shi and Tang Bao. This was captured by the surveillance camera yesterday. When he opened it, Tang Bao saw those crazy fans shouting at the entrance of the studio. There were reporters holding up cameras and fans holding up signs as if they were rebelling. Tang Bao was a little scared when she saw this. If she was really blocked, her car would be overturned by them. Soon, several cars drove into the square. Bodyguards dressed in black got out of the cars and silently approached the fans. They raised their hands and fired a shot. Those people were so scared that they were stupefied on the spot. Tang Bao was also stunned. She wouldn't believe that it wasn't Di Haoyan who had called them over. Wasn't Di Haoyan being too presumptuous? Was he going to shoot just like that? However, she felt that if she didn't shoot them, even the police wouldn't be able to stop them. Tang Bao was a little embarrassed and signaled little Zhao to turn off the video. President Tang, I think the young master is so cool. With young Master D around, we don't have to worry about anything, right? Someone started to worship him. Tang Bao could only say, we're all neighbors. It's not a big deal to help. Don't exaggerate. Meng Shi was the first to agree. That's right. Are your brains made to look good? Use your brains more. It's just along the way. Otherwise, it'll implicate T. After all, this is still T's territory. At this point, Meng Shi's eyes suddenly had a strange smile. However, the others didn't dare to laugh out loud. They felt especially scared. If you really admire T so much, I think you can go after him. If young Master D likes you, think about it. Why would he need to work here? Go and be his wife. What do you think? The others didn't expect Meng Shi to say such a thing. They really didn't think of it that way, because they knew their own capabilities. Moreover, they had always felt that the young Master D and President Tang were a couple. President Tang directly admitted that he had a family, which simply reversed their usual understanding. However, they couldn't do it just because President Tang might not have that kind of relationship with the young Master D. Of course, there were still curious people. Brother Meng, if it's about doing it, do you think it's better to be a man or a woman? Meng Shi smiled evilly. If you're happy, you can all do it together. I think that young Master D's appetite is so big that he won't mind. Brother Meng, I think the most promising person in our studio is you. Ha, that's right. Brother Meng, you're the most handsome person here. Meng Shi's face darkened. DF King liked Tang Gu as a person, not a man. What nonsense were they talking about? The more Tang Bao listened, the more he couldn't stand it. Moreover, these people were talking about her husband and how to climb into her husband's bed. This was too King evil. He rubbed his sore temples and said, meeting adjourned. Just as he reached the office door, Di Haoyan called. Come take a nap. You're not going to do it again, are you? I can't take it anymore. If you want me, I won't go over. Di Haoyan's voice was cold and dangerous. If I want you, what's the use of you hiding in the studio? Tang Bao's face twitched. He was really useless. I'll go over in a while. Tang Bao stared at Weibo and saw the statement that Xiao Ding had posted in the name of the studio. It was quickly drowned out by the comments. They were all negative emotions. Tang Bao only found it funny. To be honest, when those keyboard players scolded people, if they couldn't take it, they would directly scold her until she had depression. Tang Bao scrolled down and found Mia's alternate account. It was like a piece of rat poop in the porridge. It wasn't easy to be discovered. However, she had already instructed Xiao Ding not to let go of any of her comments. It would be very useful to keep it, so you can slowly sow discord. Chengju and Meng Shi's Weibo were even funnier. The fans were very worried that their band manager would affect their future and wanted them to quickly change managers. Then, Tang Bao also found Mia's alternate account under their Weibo. Naturally, they were saying bad things and fanning the flames. They were really pervasive. At that time, because of the video incident, the fans and officials still thought that she was a good manager. Now that something had happened, the wind had changed. Tang Bao didn't care. Such a thing wasn't rare in the entertainment industry. Or rather, it wasn't strange anywhere. Fans liked a celebrity today and another celebrity tomorrow. Even celebrities liked to change managers. However, Tang Bao believed that no matter how these people persuaded them, Meng Shi and Cheng Ju wouldn't want to change managers. She was so sure. Tang Bao turned off his computer and went to tea. Along the way, he felt strange gazes looking at him. She turned a blind eye to them. There were very few people who didn't know about such big entertainment news. Chapter 10:51. More importantly, she had a close relationship with Di Haoyan. This was very intriguing. Tang Bao knocked on the door and pushed it open. Di Haoyan sat behind the black desk and looked at her with a frown. Why did you knock on the door? If I don't knock, I don't know what others will think of me. I've been looked at a lot on my way here. Those idiots. Di Haoyan's eyes were cold. Tang Bao moved to the front of the desk and leaned on the table. She supported her chin with both hands and looked at Di Haoyan with a smile. Why don't we go along with their wishes and have a fight? You want to play? Yes. Tang Bao was happy. Di Haoyan held her tender face and bit her red lips. Naughty. Tang Bao was bitten so hard that her breathing stopped and her face turned red. She felt that Di Haoyan's hot breath was burning her face. He panted lightly and let go of her slightly. Are you playing? Tang Bao asked in a low voice. No. Why? Tang Bao was unhappy and poked Di Haoyan's face with her finger. Why not? Isn't it fun? Aren't the ones on the internet enough? This is very normal. I don't care. I care. Di Haoyan stared at her deeply with his black eyes. His gaze was so sharp that it seemed to drill into her soul. Do you know that I don't even dare to look at them? I'm afraid that I'll hunt them down and burn their bones to ashes. Tang Bao laughed when she heard that. Poking his face was even more amusing. You're too scary. Are you afraid? Di Haoyan asked as he looked at her intently. Tang Bao shook her head with a smile. I'm not afraid of anything. She was bragging a little too much. But bragging in front of Di Haoyan was a big deal. She did not care. Most importantly, Di Haoyan indulged her bragging. Yes. Then don't mess with me, Tang Bao threatened. Does this count as? Di Haoyan's thin lips kissed her small mouth. Tang Bao only felt that his breath was being taken away, and he dodged slightly. I should really make a call now and make those platforms disappear. Tang Bao was shocked. Don't. If you want those media platforms to disappear, do you still want to work? Her artist relied on such platforms for publicity. Without a place to advertise, what was she going to do? Although she wouldn't starve, her job would be over. What about Meng Shi and Cheng Ju? Absolutely not. Di Haoyan bit Tang Bao as a punishment. He only let go when she groaned in pain. That's exactly why I didn't do anything. Then let those people off for my sake. Tang Bao poked Di Haoyan's face with her finger coquettishly. Di Haoyan directly pulled her onto his body and looked at her with his dark eyes. It depends on my mood. Surely I don't have to sacrifice myself just to protect something that's not beneficial to me. Tang Bao asked in disbelief. Di Haoyan's dark eyes rippled slightly, and he looked evil and dangerous. Don't plead for mercy for anyone. I won't be happy. How is this pleading? I'm just trying to reason with you. You don't have to reason with me. As long as you say something nice, I'll listen to you. Tang Bao's eyes were just about to light up when she heard Di Haoyan say, don't even think about it. Tang Bao's open mouth silently closed. She wanted to ask if that included the thing on the bed. She did not expect that before she could say it, Di Haoyan would kill it. Sigh. She was too obvious. Di Haoyan kissed her little mouth to comfort her. Go to sleep. Then he carried Tang Bao in his arms. Tang Bao's face was hot. I can walk on my own. Is it not good to be carried by your husband? How could Tang Bao dare to say that it was not good? She just felt that with Di Hao Ian around, it was as if her legs were superfluous. After Tang Bao entered the room, she hid in the cloakroom to change into her pajamas. After changing, she came out and was surprised to see Di Hao Ian standing there waiting for her. He did not enter the cloakroom and touch her all over before finally returning to the bed. When Tang Bao climbed onto the bed, Di Hao Ian went to the fitting room again. When he came out, he had also changed into his pajamas. Then he went to bed. Tang Bao stared blankly at Di Hao Ian, who had changed. It can't be. He became a gentleman? Why are you disappointed? Di Hao Ian saw through Tang Bao's expression and asked. Tang Bao came back to her senses and quickly shook her head. Of course not. Sleep, sleep. Di Hao Ian reached out and hugged her tightly. He did not watch her change because he was afraid that he would not be able to control himself. Once he started, he would not be able to stop. Last night, he was more ruthless with her, so he let her go today. Moreover, he still had something to deal with in the afternoon. Di Hao Ian was a light sleeper and did not sleep for long. He woke up about 20 minutes later. Tang Bao was sleeping in his arms with her face red. It was peaceful and beautiful. Di Hao Ian kissed her red lips for a long time before he was willing to let go. After he let go, there was a glistening liquid on her lips. It was left by Di Hao Ian. He was about to wipe it away with his long and rough fingers, but he stopped and let the liquid stain her lips. He walked out of the lounge. Di Hao Ian called his secretary. Young master. After knocking on the door and entering, the secretary stood respectfully. Those online platforms are the biggest players now. Buy them all. Di Hao Ian's face was cold as he looked at the computer screen in front of him. The secretary was stunned. Young master, are you serious? Di Hao Ian looked up with his cold black eyes. Do you have any objections? No, I'll investigate immediately, the secretary said and went back to work. Then, he was busy in the afternoon. He understood the online media platforms and checked their business scope. As long as it was related to the entertainment industry, Di Hao Ian was interested in it. Anyway, Tang Bao did not know that Di Hao Ian was doing this. She thought that Di Hao Ian really did not want her to make things difficult for other media platforms. However, since it was a tea business, Di Junbai would definitely know. Such a large-scale acquisition, even if it was not the biggest acquisition in tea, was not a small matter. Besides, Di Hao Ian attached great importance to this matter. Even if he did not ask, Di Junbai knew why. The person who was most concerned about the Tang Bao situation was Lan Wanru. She could not go to the castle or the bungalow, so she could only ask Di Junbai. At night, Di Junbai sat on the bench by the pool and read a book. Lan Wanru walked over. Brother, why aren't you asleep yet? Di Junbai put down the book and asked. I just took medicine and can't sleep. Lan Wanru sat down on the chair. Something on your mind? Why don't you tell me? Brother Hao Hian has a man by his side. If this man is always around, I may never be happy. Di Junbai sighed and looked away. But he doesn't understand your feelings. This is his problem. It's not your fault. Thinking too much will only hurt your body. Chapter 1052. I know about this too, but I think very few people don't know about it, especially those who know him. They'll pay more attention to this matter, Di Junbai said. I knew that Tang Gu would go to tea whenever he had time. Could it be that he's still like this after something like this happened recently? Brother Hao Ian probably doesn't like him anymore, right? Lan Wanru felt that Tang Gu wouldn't have a good ending after this matter came out. You're wrong. This matter won't affect either of them. The only thing that will be affected is Tang Ji's work. Lan Wanru couldn't believe it. How was that possible? Holding hands with other women in the washroom was a small matter, but this time Tang Gu went to a hotel room with someone. Wanru, no matter how many women Tang Gu goes to a hotel room with, we won't let Di Hao Ian abandon him. Why? Why can't we change? That kind of be asterisk starred. Lan Wanru was so angry that his face turned white. He looked so fragile that he could fall at any moment. She had planned so carefully, but in the end, she didn't get anything. What was this? Did Di Hao Ian love Tang Gu so much that it didn't matter if he betrayed him? I think it's because of that face. With that face, Di Hao Yin won't touch him, Di Junbai said. Lan Wanru suddenly thought of the chess piece in her hand and sneered. Face? Can a face similar to Tang Bao change Brother Hao Yin's mind? If that's the case, then it's not a difficult thing to do. What did you say? Nothing. Brother, sleep early. I'll go back to my room first. Okay. After Lan Wanru went back to his room, he called Mia. It's useless. What? It's already like this, and it's still not working? Mia was shocked. The king of D City still didn't kick Tang Go out. Not only that, but he's also protected him well. Xiao Shuyin's fans can't even get close to Tang Go. I'm thinking that as long as it's someone you love, no matter if it's a man or a woman, you won't be so calm when you encounter such a thing, right? It's obviously abnormal, Mia said. What do you know? The only person Brother Hao Yin loved was Tang Bao. Tang Ge was just a substitute for his deceased ex-wife. Or perhaps it was because of that face. That's why I wanted you to have plastic surgery to look like this. Since this method didn't work, then find an opportunity to do it yourself. I want you to replace Tang Ge. Don't worry. I will. After hanging up the phone, Lan Wanru weakly sat on the edge of the bed with tears in his eyes. She used to hate women who had bad intentions towards Di Hao Yin. As long as someone got close to her, she couldn't wait to make them disappear. But now, she was sending a woman to Di Hao Yin just to deal with Tang Ge. Didn't her heart ache? Of course it hurt. However, she wouldn't care about Mia. As long as Tang Ge was pushed away, she would have a way to deal with Mia. Deep in the bar's private room, a man knelt in front of Di Hao Yin and begged, "Young master, please don't buy my media platform. I have elders and children to take care of. I can't not have a company." I took a look. Your media platform is doing well. I'm very interested. It's my fortune to be able to catch young master's eye. But if I don't have a company, I'll have nothing. The man continued to cry. How can you have nothing? It's not like I'm not giving you money. You're giving me money? The man was stunned. He thought that Di Hao Yin was trying to rob him and force him into a corner. How much is your media platform worth? I'll give you double. Di Hao Yin was full of pride. The man was dumbfounded. Although his media platform was doing well and was one of the best in the industry, wasn't a little too exaggerated to buy him double? I'm a very easy person to talk to. If you don't sell, I'll use force. Think about it. Di Hao Yin sat on the sofa lazily and gloomily. He had a strong aura and held a wine glass in his hand. It was as if the liquid in the glass wasn't wine, but poison, emitting a fatal luster. This was called being easy to talk to? This was clearly a threat, okay? But did he still have a right to choose? Di Hao Yin seemed to be very kind to him. If he refused, then he would have no company and no money. To be honest, he felt that the company would be snatched away and he would have no money at all. He was actually giving him money, and it was double? Why did he feel like he had taken advantage of him? Did this feeling carry a tinge of sadness? Have you thought about it? I've thought about it. I'll sell the company. Gu Linxin walked in. If you're not selling, then what are you waiting for? Money falls from the sky. Others don't have such good luck. The man kneeling on the ground was speechless. Get out. What are you still doing here? Gu Linxin sat down on the sofa. The man glanced at Di Hao Yin. Seeing that he didn't say anything, he stood up and left the private room. I was wondering why you went out so easily at night. So you had something to do and wanted to have a drink with me. Gu Linxin poured a glass of wine and drank it in one gulp. The wine stain on his lips was very seductive. Di Hao Yin looked at his wristwatch. I'll be back in half an hour. You don't have to be so henpecked, do you? Gu Linxin sneered. The Tang Bao is getting more and more powerful now. He's so strict with the king of D City. Di Hao Yin didn't say anything. Gu Linxin smiled faintly. Are you happy to hear that I'm giving you so much face? Not bad. Then let me put it bluntly. You don't have to worry about the Tang Bao. You'll run back on your own. You can't stay outside. Your wife won't run away. What are you worried about? Di Hao Yin wasn't angry. He wanted to go back as soon as he was done with his business and didn't intend to wait for Gu Linxin. However, Gu Linxin had arrived on time and delayed him by half an hour. He had already given Gu Linxin a lot of face. Di Hao Ian looked at him coldly. Your wife isn't at home. It wasn't a question. It was a statement. Gu Linshan's face stiffened. He drank his wine calmly. Luo Luoli was staying at her mother's place for the night. She said that a daughter who couldn't get married was like water that had been spilled. Her mother was lonely and pitiful at home alone. If he still didn't agree, she would cry to him. How could Gu Linshan not agree? He was thinking that since Luo Meiwan didn't want his house, he would buy another one for Luo Meiwan. If Luo Luoli went back, he could sleep there too. The pot calling the kettle black, Di Hao Hian said coldly. Gu Linshan had nothing to say. He felt embarrassed. After all, he had been mocking Di Hao Yan. Chapter 1053. You seem to be jealous? Di Hao Yan looked at him coldly. Why would I be jealous of you? I think you should arrange a few more men for your woman so that you don't have anything to do all day. Gu Linshan's face immediately tensed up. Don't do anything rash. It was obvious that Di Hao Hian was jealous of him. What are you worried about? If there really isn't anything, your worry is unnecessary. No. Di Hao Hian, you want to fight? Gu Linshan's face was about to darken, but after thinking about it, he decided to compromise. Consider my loss, okay? Tang Bao is now in the form of a man, and you're already so agitated. If there really is a man trying to please Luo Luoli, I'll kill him. Di Hao Ian put down the wine glass in his hand and got up to go to the washroom. There was a washroom in the private room. When Di Hao Ian was about to go in, the floor was full of water. His face was cold. Iju felt that something was wrong. He walked over and saw the floor full of water. Young master, I'm sorry. This is my mistake. Have you checked it? Yes, there was no water when I checked it. It must have leaked later. I'll get someone to change the private room. No need. I'll go to the washroom outside. Di Hao Ian turned around and left the private room with a cold face. Iju and the bodyguard naturally followed him. They stood not far away from the washroom. Di Hao Ian entered the men's washroom and stood in front of the urinal. He didn't go back to the private room. He went straight back. Just as Di Hao Ian was urinating, someone walked in. Di Hao Ian didn't say that outsiders couldn't come in, but the person who came in was a woman. Mia entered the washroom. She was going to the women's washroom, but she turned and pushed open the men's washroom. Di Hao Ian's back was facing her. However, Mia just looked at Di Hao Ian's imposing back and couldn't help but stare. He was tall and had a noble aura. She was slightly dazed. Di Hao Ian sensed that something was wrong behind him. He turned around and saw a woman. However, when he saw the woman's face, he was slightly stunned. Mia had never seen Di Hao Ian in real life before. Looking at him now, she felt that her heart was beating erratically. This was a feeling she would never have when looking at other good-looking men. Sorry, I went to the wrong toilet. I'm sorry. Di Hao Ian's pressure was too strong. She had no choice but to come back to her senses and leave the men's room apologetically. After walking out, she didn't leave immediately. Instead, she stood at the door of the washroom. Not long after, Di Hao Ian walked out. His gaze fell on Mia's face. With a shy expression, Mia said, I'm really sorry. I didn't see anything. You won't blame me, right? Di Hao Ian looked at her sharply. What's your name? My name is Mia. You're not bad looking, Di Hao Ian commented. This comment made Mia happy, but she didn't show it too much. She only said, thank you. Di Hao Ian retracted his gaze and turned to leave. Hiju followed behind Di Hao Ian. When he left, he turned back to look at Mia. After walking out of the bar, Hiju said, Young master, that's the female celebrity that Vice President Zhou said he saw at the Song Hong annual gala. She looks very similar to young madam. When Malay told me that night, I didn't think it would be very similar. Now, it seems very similar. No matter how similar they look, it's still a pirated face. What's there to care about? Hiju thought so too, but why did Di Hao Ian ask for someone else's name? He wouldn't really treat a woman who looked like Tang Bao differently, right? After getting into the car, Di Hao Ian's dark eyes looked out of the car window. He didn't explain his abnormal behavior to anyone. However, after returning, Di Hao Ian's expression darkened. Zhang Li saw the black figure disappear at the stairs and immediately pulled Li in. Supervisor, did you see young master's expression? Lien looked at the hand that was holding his hand. Only then did Zhang Li realize his rashness. He quickly let go and stood there obediently. Lien acted as if nothing had happened and said, I saw it. I think young master is angry again. Why is he always angry at young madam? Lien looked at her in a new light. How do you know that he's angry at young madam? Isn't he? Other than young madam, who else could young master be angry at? Anyway, no matter what it is, it must be related to young madam. Sigh. It's only been a few days, and there's another conflict. Young madam is also very unrestrained. She doesn't know how to restrain herself in front of young master. Zhongli shook his head and sighed worriedly. Lien was speechless. Tang Bao was sitting on the sofa, eating fruit while reading the gossip news on the internet. There was still negative news about her, but all the photos were gone. Otherwise, her face would be on the wanted list soon. However, recently, Di Hao Ian didn't let her take the car alone. Di Hao Ian drove her around. She had become a big star and had to be protected when she went out. But to be honest, if it weren't for Di Hao Ian, she really couldn't guarantee that she would have a carefree and undisturbed life now. After all, those brainless fans were still very scary. The door was pushed open and Di Hao Ian walked in. You're back. Tang Bao looked up and greeted him. However, when she saw Di Hao Ian's cold expression, she stopped chewing. Ew, what's wrong? I didn't provoke you, did I? Who else could it be other than you? Tang Bao expressed her innocence. I didn't do anything. Besides, Di Hao Ian was the one who went out, not her. Di Hao Ian walked over and directly took the computer from her hand. His slender fingers tapped on the keyboard a few times and then pushed the screen in front of Tang Bao. Who is this person? On the screen was a promotional photo taken by Mia. After some refinement, it looked even more similar to her female face. Di Hao Ian knew? Zhou Jisen was the one who said that Zhou Jisen was present at Song Hong's banquet, but it had been a few days, and he only came to look for her now. Did Zhou Jisen tell you that? Answer my question. Di Hao Ian's face was cold. This person is Xiao Bao's oldest sister, Chun Zhaodi. Tang Bao knew that if she didn't say anything, Di Hao Ian would definitely investigate. If she said it, compared to Di Hao Ian's investigation, it would definitely be less serious. She would be lenient if she confessed. Seeing that Di Hao Ian's expression had become scary, Tang Bao quickly said, I didn't know that she went for plastic surgery. It really surprised me. But I have no right to interfere with her plastic surgery, so I didn't tell you about it. She wants to be a big star. Do you think I'm going to stop her? Do you think it's fun to do plastic surgery to look like you? Tang Bao's eyelids twitched. Why? Are you feeling pressured and afraid of falling in love with someone else? Di Hao Ian's expression instantly darkened. Tang Bao's little heart skipped a beat. Her eyes flickered, and she didn't dare to look him in the eye. Chapter 1054. Tang Bao put down the fruit in her hand and went to Di Hao Ian's side. She reached out her fair hand and let go of Di Hao Ian's big hand. Then, she intertwined her fingers with his. Di Hao Ian's gaze fell on her fair hand, and he focused slightly. Tang Bao rested her head on Di Hao Ian's shoulder. Don't you believe that I can handle it well? You weren't around for 3 years, but I did a good job. It's different now that I know. I know you don't want me to work hard. You don't want me to feel wronged, and you don't want me to be in danger. But I have to learn to grow. What do you need to grow up to be my woman? I'm not your father. I don't need you to grow up. What the F***CK, Tang Bao lifted her pitiful little face and looked at him with sparkling eyes. My father won't spoil me like this. It's not good for you to spoil me like this. I'm happy to. Who dares to have an opinion? Di Hao Ian said coldly. Tang Bao thought that indeed, no one would dare to have an opinion. It's not like they're tired of living. She quickly kissed Di Hao Ian's thin lips and said, Didn't you say that I can go on a rampage on the road? Because you're the one who makes the rules. If that's the case, why are you stopping me? Do you really think that Chun Zhaodi did plastic surgery to look like me for no reason? I think she's here to seduce you. As long as you don't mess up, I won't lose. You're worried that I'll mess up? Di Hao Ian's dark eyes moved slightly. Tang Bao's worry made his heart palpitate, as if there was a ripple in his heart. Tang Bao heard Di Haoyan's question, and her face turned slightly red and hot. She thought about what she said. As long as you don't mess up, I won't lose. Why did this sentence sound like a confession? Just as she was thinking of how to explain herself, she felt a grip on her chin and was lifted up. She met Di Haoyan's dark and dangerous eyes. Are you worried they'll mess things up? Di Haoyan asked again. He seemed to want to get to the bottom of this matter. Then Tang Bao said, Di Haoyan, tell me, why do I like you? Why do I find myself liking you more and more? Di Haoyan's hand, which was pinching Tang Bao's chin, suddenly trembled. His breathing became heavy, as if a soft little hand was tugging at his heart. His toughness was instantly broken. Tang Bao saw the change in Di Haoyan's eyes. It was as if there was a terrifying whirlpool in them. She blushed and asked, Di Haoyan, you used to be the second most important man in my heart. Now, you become the first. Who's second? Di Haoyan's tough heart returned. My father. Now it's your turn. Tang Bao's hand touched Di Haoyan's chest. His firm chest muscles rose and fell clearly. Her palm was pressed against Di Haoyan's heart. His heartbeat was so clear in her palm. It was as if she had grabbed Di Haoyan's fatal heart. Di Haoyan, your heart is beating so fast. Tang Bao's clear eyes shone with tears. Di Haoyan did not say anything. He just stared at Tang Bao with his dark eyes. He felt that Tang Bao was seducing him now, from his body to his heart. If she continued to seduce him, he felt that he would lose his life. Tang Bao got up and sat on Di Haoyan's body. They were so close to each other. Then, she intimately tugged at Di Haoyan's collar and deliberately messed it up. Don't worry, I don't care about Amiya. She wants to steal my man. She's too confident in herself. As she spoke, she pursed her lips and kissed Di Haoyan's thin lips. This time, it was Di Haoyan's turn to feel suffocated. He could not bear to close his eyes and watch how Tang Bao kissed him. Tang Bao blushed. She had no choice but to close her eyes under Di Haoyan's gaze. She did not want to see her shy side in Di Haoyan's vast and dark eyes. Di Haoyan's heart was not the only one beating fast. Her heart was beating so fast that it was about to jump out of her chest. I won't be able to take it. Di Haoyan's hoarse voice came out of his throat. His magnetic sexiness and forceful suppression were like an impending storm. If it were not for the storm in his voice, Tang Bao really wanted to reply to him. Who was the one who couldn't take it? Would he also have a time when he couldn't take it? Your passion only needs a little bit of it, and I will go crazy. Bao, your drug is too strong. Di Haoyan bit back, causing Tang Bao, who was kissing lightly, to tremble all over. She held onto Di Haoyan's broad shoulders with both hands. Soon, she was lost in the chaos of love and Di Haoyan's violent storm. She liked the smell of Di Haoyan's body, liked his fierce eyes, liked his craziness for her, liked him saying that he wanted to kill her, and liked his domineering love for her. Tang Bao felt that she must have gone crazy. She must have been led astray by Di Haoyan. Otherwise, why would she think like that? Or was her idea a kind of possessiveness towards Di Haoyan? Did she want to tell anyone that Di Haoyan was hers, and no one could snatch him away? It turned out that she also knew how to be possessive. In the morning, when Zhongli saw Di Haoyan coming downstairs, she still looked at the stairs nervously. However, the atmosphere in the castle did not change. The young master also looked normal. Then, could it be said that there was no quarrel at all? The low pressure from the young master's return to the castle last night was gone. Then, she saw Di Haoyan carrying food upstairs. Zhongli heaved a sigh of relief. There was definitely no quarrel. This was really fortunate. It had to be said that working in the castle required a strong endurance. Otherwise, one would be scared to death by the young master's low-pressure back and forth. Tang Bao was sleeping on the bed. She didn't wake up. Therefore, when Di Haoyan carried her up to eat breakfast, her eyes were still closed. Tang Bao only felt that someone was stuffing something into her mouth, so she followed her instinct to chew and then swallow it. However, she was sleeping soundly, so it was very uncomfortable to be made like this. Fortunately, she went back to sleep after a few mouthfuls. When Tang Bao woke up again, it was already late in the morning. Tang Bao opened her eyes and saw the ceiling above the bedroom. She blinked her eyes. Her body moved slightly, and she felt that she could still bear it. She felt that she had been made to the point that her skin was rough and her flesh was thick. Otherwise, according to her previous physique, she would definitely grimace and find it difficult to even sit up. "You're awake." Tang Bao rolled her head on the pillow and saw Di Hao Yin sitting on the sofa not far away. Now that she took Di Hao Yin's car to the studio, it wasn't surprising that he was here. However, the computer in Di Hao Yin's hand was hers. "Di Hao Yin, how did you get my computer?" In front of Di Hao Yin, she really had no privacy. She did it perfectly. "Your assistant sent you a message." "What?" Tang Bao sat up from the bed and was about to lift the blanket when she realized that Di Hao Yin was staring at her, as if he was waiting for some kind of deep meaning. Tang Bao lowered her head again and realized that she was naked. Tang Bao sighed. Chapter 1055. She couldn't figure out what kind of system this person was in. Tang Bao grabbed the pajamas next to her and put them on. She covered her body that was covered with red marks before getting out of bed. "I can't look." Di Hao Yin seemed to be confused. "Yes, you can. You can look at it at night," Tang Bao said. "I really want you to appear in front of me all day. You're not allowed to wear clothes." Tang Bao's heart skipped a beat. Then, she was afraid that her rejection was too obvious and Di Hao Yin would be unhappy. So she changed her words. "Well, we have a lifetime. You can take your time to look." The emotions in Di Hao Yin's dark eyes changed. His voice was low and hoarse. "Okay." Tang Bao felt that she was getting better and better. She knew how to calm Di Hao Yin's emotions now. She sat down beside Di Hao Yin and asked, "What's the news?" Di Hao Yin showed her. Tang Bao looked at the screenshots that Little Ding had sent her. They were all comments from Mia's alternate account. "You have a plan," Di Hao Yin said affirmatively. "Of course. How can I let the person who schemed against me have a last laugh?" Tang Bao laughed. "This alternate account is Mia's alternate account. I still need her to help me with the publicity. Don't cause trouble for me." Di Hao Yin thought that he was going to start causing trouble. Since she wanted to play, then let her play. He just needed to stand behind her and protect her. Di Hao Yin's large hand held her slender waist and massaged her gently. He whispered in her ear, "Do you feel uncomfortable?" "I'm fine." Tang Bao's face was hot. Then, she thought of something and reminded him, "It's the weekend tomorrow and the day after tomorrow." Di Hao Yin's face was a little tense, but he didn't say anything. Tang Bao could tell what he was thinking just by looking at his expression. She couldn't help but laugh when she thought of what Di Hao Yin had said earlier about wanting her naked in front of him all day. Di Hao Yin hugged her tightly. "Are you laughing at me?" "Do you believe that I won't let you get out of bed?" Tang Bao's body tensed up. "Of course I do, but I can't. Don't force me to run away from home. I'm telling you, I really can do it." Her mouth was bitten. She winced in pain. Di Hao Yin let go of her pitiful little mouth. "How dare you threaten your husband? You deserve to be punished." Tang Bao touched his bitten lips and said, "I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going to brush my teeth." He thought of something and stopped at the bathroom door. "Di Hao Yin, can you bring bowling here during the weekend?" "All right. Aren't you agreeing too easily?" Tang Bao asked. "It's your husband's job. Don't worry." Tang Bao felt that Di Hao Yin would definitely resort to extreme measures. Otherwise, the child would be taken back by Di Junbai again. Moreover, she couldn't even get through to Di Bowling. She didn't know if there was something wrong with the phone. However, Di Bowling, who hadn't seen Tang Bao for a long time, really wanted to go out of school to look for Tang Bao in the afternoon, because he felt that Di Junbai would definitely take him home after school, so he could go and see Tang Bao in the afternoon. He would come back when school was almost over. Hence, Di Bowling ran to the teacher and asked, "Teacher, can you lend me your phone for a while?" The teacher was speechless. This was not the first time, but because she didn't dare to provoke this little devil, she lent him her phone. Come and pick me up now and send me to Ibao Studio. Don't tell my daddy, or I won't let you off. The teacher behind them broke out in cold sweat. But when the phone was returned, the teacher still asked, Deep bowling, are you going out? Yes, teacher. I'm not used to sleeping on the school bed. I want to go home and sleep. Children from rich families were indeed precious. Di Junbai walked out of the villa. He came back to get some documents and happened to see old Zhou about to go out after receiving a call. What's wrong? Old Zhou thought for a while. Should he tell him or not? That little devil wouldn't let him off, right? Did bowling ask you to go? Di Junbai asked. Yes. Young master asked me to send him to Ibao Studio. Di Junbai restrained his expression and was silent for a while. Then he said, Go. Just pretend that I don't know. Yes. Old Zhou got into the car and drove off. Old Zhou picked up Di Bowling, got into the car, and drove straight to Ibao Studio. Di Bowling sat in the back seat and was very happy. He hadn't seen Tang Bao for a long time. Would Tang Bao be happy to see him? School was too boring. It was more interesting to follow Tang Bao. Should he find an excuse not to study? He didn't think so. Besides, if he followed Tang Bao every day, would Di Hao Ian, that petty person, spank him? When he thought of this possibility, Di Bowling's little face scrunched up like a bun. The car slowly stopped in front of Ibao Studio. Di Bowling got out of the car and walked towards Ibao Studio. Old Zhou followed behind him as if they were escorting him. However, just as he took a few steps and was still some distance away from the studio, he was swarmed by fans who had hidden somewhere. Young master, be careful. Old Zhou quickly protected him. The fans surrounded him. Little kid, may I ask, what's your relationship with Tangu? Tangu has an affair and ruined other people's relationships. Do you know that? I feel that you and Tangu are a little alike. Are you his son? Old Zhou was furious. He pushed the person closest to him. He's just a child. Don't you have any morals? But with old Zhou's strength, how could he stop the madness of the fans? They kept pushing forward. Old Zhou shielded Di Bowling and was surrounded in the middle, afraid that Di Bowling would be hurt. But being pushed by the fans, old Zhou was a little unstable. F*CK, what's going on? The people in Ibao Studio saw and asked, Oh no, it's Di Bowling. I saw Di Bowling just now. Xiao Ding was so angry that he roared. What are you all standing there for? Go and help. The people in the studio ran out and wanted to save old Zhou and Di Bowling, but there were too many fans and it was completely useless. Xiao Ding's eyes were even punched, and there were dark circles under his eyes. She was so angry that she shouted, You stupid fans, aren't you afraid of retribution? You won't even let child off. Some fans replied, Adults are not good people, and children are not any better. Then, Xiao Ding pounced on them and started fighting. The black car drove towards Ibao Studio. Ju sat at the front and was the first to see it. Young master, something happened. Hurry up and drive. What's wrong? Tang Bao was startled. The car sped towards the square. Ju said, I saw the car that young master Di was in, and there were a lot of fans. Tang Bao's face turned pale. What did you say? Di Hao Ian's dark eyes turned violet. The car stopped. Stay in the car. Chapter 1056. The bodyguards pulled the crazy fans apart one by one. Di Bowling, who was squeezed in the middle, did not react at all. After all, he was still young and did not have the ability to deal with such a situation. Other than old Zhou protecting him, he was powerless to fight back. The fans were more than just crazy. They even wanted to fight with the bodyguards in black. As they fought, they shouted, You've gone too far. You're bullying me. She was kicked to the ground. They did not have any protective feelings for the fair sex. She vomited blood on the spot. When one of the fans saw that her fan was injured and that she could not win against the bodyguards, she wanted to use Di Bowling, the weak kid. He pulled out a knife from his body and stabbed directly at Di Bowling. Tang Bao, who could not be stopped, got out of the car. As soon as she got out, she saw a scene that made her heart stop. Bowling, Di Hao Ian. Di Hao Ian shook off the fans in front of him and went straight to Di Bowling. He grabbed D Bowling with one hand and carried him over. However, the knife cut the back of D Hao Ian's hand and blood flowed out. Di Ju went forward and broke the fan's neck on the spot. Tang Bao immediately rushed over and checked on D Bowling. She was so scared that her voice trembled. "Bowling, are you okay?" Then she saw that the back of Di Hao Ian's hand was still bleeding and her face turned pale. "Di Hao, I'm fine. It's just a superficial wound. Didn't I tell you not to get out of the car? Why are you so disobedient?" Di Hao Ian said sternly. Tang Bao looked at him with red eyes and said to He Ju, "Call the doctor to T. I'll contact him now. Deal with these people first. Don't let any of them go." Some of the fans looked like they were not even 20 years old. But what did that have to do with him? Since their parents could not teach them well, he might as well teach them a lesson. He would definitely make them regret living in this world. Tang Bao did not want to let these people off either. They had hurt her family. This was the only thing she could not tolerate. However, Di Hao Ian's hand was still bleeding. She ignored Di Hao Ian's order and insisted on telling He Ju, "Call the doctor first." This time, He Ju didn't listen to Di Hao Ian. Instead, he called the doctor first and then ordered his men to deal with the fans who were either conscious or dead. In T's office, Di Bowling sat on the sofa obediently, motionless, his face pale. His eyes were fixed on the doctor who was treating Di Hao Ian's wound. Tang Bao went in with the juice and glanced at Di Hao Ian, who was being bandaged. He knew that it was just a superficial wound, so he was not worried. Now, she was more worried about Di Bowling. He must have been frightened. "Bowling, have some juice." Tang Bao handed him the glass. Di Bowling turned to look at Tang Bao and asked, "Is he really okay?" "He's fine. It's just a superficial wound. He'll be fine after the doctor bandages it. Don't worry and don't be afraid, okay? No matter what happens, we'll protect you." Tang Bao comforted him and patted his head. Although Di Bowling was young, he knew a lot. He naturally remembered that when he was in danger, Di Hao Ian blocked a knife for him. Otherwise, his hand wouldn't have been injured and bleeding. He had always had a problem with Di Hao Ian. He felt that he was like a tyrant. But now, he didn't feel repulsed at all. Perhaps, he had long felt that Di Hao Ian was a good person and would not hurt him. He just didn't want to admit that he liked Di Hao Ian a little because he was afraid that he would let his father down. At this moment, the doctor had already bandaged the wound. "Young master, don't let this hand get wet. It will heal in a few days." "Okay." After the doctor left, Di Hao Ian noticed that Di Bowling was looking at him. He raised his uninjured hand and said, "Come here." Di Bowling hesitated for a moment, as if he didn't dare to go over. Would he beat him up if he got hurt? But before Tang Bao could encourage him, he took the initiative to go over. He walked in front of Di Hao Ian and stood in front of him. He looked at the bandaged hand with his big black grape-like eyes and looked adorable. Di Hao Ian lifted him up with one hand and sat him down next to him. "Are you afraid?" Di Bowling was silent. It would be a lie if he said that he wasn't afraid. If other children encounter this kind of thing, they would definitely cry and scream. You didn't. You're very brave. He was indeed his son. His personality might be different from Erbao's, but they were both courageous and capable of doing great things. Di Bowling didn't know that his father was already thinking about how to enslave him and Erbao in the future. Di Hao Ian patted Di Bowling's head. He was very different from Tang Bao's gentleness. His big hand directly made Di Bowling's hair stand up. Di Bowling couldn't care less. He just stared blankly at Di Hao Ian and thought about what he said. Was he praising him? He thought that he was going to beat him up. "Does it still hurt?" Di Bowling asked. "It doesn't hurt. I'm sorry." Di Bowling had never been so weak in front of Di Hao Ian. He had always been very arrogant. "Don't feel guilty. Even if I had to do it again, I would do the same thing." Di Hao Ian looked at him and felt a little sorry. He was full of fatherly love. Di Bowling looked at Di Hao Ian. It seemed that Tang Bao was telling the truth when he said that Di Hao Ian liked him. "Okay, drink the juice. Then we'll go eat and take a nap in the afternoon. Don't go back to school. Come back to the castle with us." Di Bowling wanted to say that Di Junbai was coming to take him home. However, when his gaze fell on Di Hao Ian's bandaged hand, he nodded and agreed. During the afternoon nap, Tang Bao slept next to Di Bowling and coaxed him. Looking at Di Bowling's sleeping face, he kissed him lovingly. Di Haotian leaned over and whispered in her ear, "I'll be jealous if you do this." "Why would you be jealous? He's your son. That's why I can't do anything about my love rival." Tang Bao pushed him away slightly and got up from the bed gently. He covered Di Bowling with the blanket and turned to leave the lounge. Di Haotian walked out and closed the door. He asked, "Why aren't you sleeping?" "You should." Before he could finish his sentence, Tang Bao threw herself into his arms. Di Haotian felt as if his heart had been hit by her. His whole body trembled with excitement. After recovering for a long time, Tang Bao hugged him and did not speak for a long time. "What's wrong?" Di Haotian's voice was low and hoarse. "I don't know," Tang Bao did not want to say. She felt that the emotions in her heart were too strong. She did not know how to say it, so she said that she did not know. Di Haotian raised her face. His dark eyes seemed to want to drill into her soul through her eyes. He asked, "Are you scared?" Tang Bao nodded. She did not care if it would be embarrassing. Chapter 10:57. However, these were her heartfelt words. She was really scared. Tang Bao gently held up Di Haotian's bandaged hand. She looked down and said, "How could you hurt yourself? You're making me worried and scared on purpose, aren't you?" Although it was a question, she knew that it was caused by fear. She would rather have been cut on the back of her hand instead of Di Haotian. She didn't expect that a cut on the back of Di Haotian's hand would make him so scared. This was too scary. It was scarier than anything else. However, she didn't want Di Bowling to get hurt. Di Haotian's long and rough fingers lifted her face. His clear eyes were still trembling with tears. He looked at her deeply with his dark eyes. This injury was worth it. What do you mean? She was scared out of her wits, and he was still saying such things? Di Haotian's hand clasped the back of her neck. He buried her in his chest and hugged her tightly. "You're worried about me. Don't you think it's worth it?" Di Haotian asked in a low voice. Tang Bao finally understood what he meant. She didn't know whether to be angry or laugh. "Is it strange that I'm worried about you? I just regret not getting out of the car earlier and walking to Bowling's side. That way, Bowling wouldn't have been scared and you wouldn't have been hurt. If you had gotten out of the car, it would have been worse." "Why?" "My heart would have been in a mess. That's why I let you stay in the car. Even if you didn't scream at that time, I saw it. Don't blame yourself and don't be sad. I feel that it's definitely worth it for me to suffer such a small injury. Damn it, but I won't let anyone who tries to hurt you off. If it's possible, I'd like to give it a try." Di Haotian's dark eyes were fierce and bloodthirsty. Tang Bao was stunned for a moment. She looked up from his arms. "Don't do that. We'll take responsibility for our own actions. Don't involve their families. It has nothing to do with them. You think it has nothing to do with them? Even if it has something to do with education, don't get involved. After all, this matter was not instigated by his parents. Is that okay?" Tang Bao nervously tugged at Di Haotian's sleeve, fearing that he would really go after the families of those people one by one. No matter how angry she was at those people for hurting the people she cared about and how much she wanted to teach them a lesson, she was not as ruthless as Di Haotian. He could not wait to kill them all and make them die without descendants. "Got it." Di Haotian's face was cold. He didn't seem very willing. However, even if he spared their lives, Imperial City still made them feel like hell. There was only pain and no joy. This was the only way to fill the bloodthirsty rage in his heart. However, the fan incident had already stopped, so why would they stir up trouble again? Were they really not afraid of death? Di Haotian put his arm around her and went to the lounge. "What? Sleep." "I don't want to sleep anymore." After experiencing this, how could she still be in the mood to sleep? After thinking for a while, she asked, "Do you want to sleep? Are you inviting me?" Di Haotian turned to look at her. His dark eyes were very dangerous. Tang Bao coaxed Di Bowling to sleep. Now it was Di Haotian coaxing Tang Bao to sleep. After falling asleep, he left the lounge. He called He Ju over. "How are those people being dealt with?" Di Haotian sat on the black chair behind the desk. looking cold and gloomy as if he came from hell. Don't worry, young master. Not a single one of them is missing. The living ones are bleeding and thrown into the sea. The so-called bleeding and throwing into the sea was to cut a few wounds on a living person's body to ensure that she would not die or stop bleeding. Thrown into the sea. The smell of blood would naturally attract sharks. It was impossible for them to survive. It would also let them experience the extreme fear of floating in the sea before they died. In other words, not a single one of them was tortured out, Di Haotian said coldly. Yes, under the double torture of both mental and physical torture, there were still no clues. Check on their family members, too. Chase them out of D City. No need. Let them stay in D City and let them know the consequences of offending the king of D City. Yes. Young master, could this be related to Di Junbai? Hiju asked. All clues must be checked in this direction. Don't miss anything. Yes. The door of the office was pushed open before he could ask for permission. The person who came in was Di Junbai. He looked a little flustered and lost his usual composure. Hiju looked at him and did not say a word. He retreated to the side. Di Haotian frowned and looked at him sternly. We'll let you in. This is your office? I'm sorry, young master. I heard that something happened to the square, and then I received a call from Lao Zhou. Only then did I know that something had happened to Bowling. How is Bowling now? Is he all right? Di Junbai finished speaking in one breath and looked at Di Haotian anxiously. Hiju looked at Di Junbai, trying to see if Di Junbai was acting or if he was really worried about Di Bowling. Di Haotian leaned back in his seat and looked at him coldly with his sharp black eyes. He's not your son. Why are you so nervous? I know he's not, but I raised him for 3 years. So what if we're not related by blood? I've always treated him as my own. Di Junbai's breathing was slightly unstable. You raised him with a purpose. I really couldn't tell that you had such a big heart. Di Haotian's cold aura was very threatening. Young master, I'm really worried about him. Tell me, how is he now? Hiju said, Don't worry, young master Di is fine. Di Junbai heaved a sigh of relief and realized that he had lost his composure. I'm sorry, I was rash. You better be rash, Di Haotian said coldly. What do you mean, young master? Di Junbai asked in confusion. You can leave now. Di Haotian didn't need to explain to him. He believed that with Di Junbai's intelligence, he wouldn't be unable to tell. Di Junbai didn't say anything else. He had been ordered to leave, so there was no reason for him to continue standing there. After Di Junbai left, Hiju said, I can't tell if Di Junbai is acting or if he's really worried about Di Bowling. Even I can't tell. What's so strange about that? Di Junbai is a shrewd person. He's still capable of this. Could it be that this matter really has nothing to do with Di Junbai? Although Di Bowling is young master's biological son, he might still have feelings for him. Di Haotian looked at Hiju coldly. Are you going to make the same mistake again? Hiju knew what his first mistake was, so he nodded and didn't say anything. Chapter 1058. Yes, sir. Hiju left the office hurriedly. The office was silent. Suddenly, Di Haotian looked at the door of the lounge. The door was slightly ajar. Someone had just pulled it open, but Di Haotian did not get up to see what was going on. It was as if he had known from the beginning that someone was standing there. Di Bowling even forgot to close the door. He climbed onto the bed and laid down in his original position. He glanced at Tang Bao next to him. She was still asleep, but he did not dare to move, let alone speak. Di Bowling was in a daze, and he looked a little scared. He had heard everything that Di Haotian had said just now. Wasn't he Di Junbai's son? How had he become Di Haotian's son? What was going on? He was Tang Bao's son. His father was Di Junbai. What did he have to do with Di Haotian? He thought about how Di Haotian's hand was injured today, but then he thought about how Di Junbai had been hospitalized because of him. He couldn't figure it out either. Although Di Bowling had doubts about this relationship, at least he had planted a seed of conjecture in his heart. Tang Bao was about to wake up when she felt someone snuggling into her arms. She opened her eyes and saw Di Bowling clinging to her like a little dumpling. He had just woken up and his big eyes were still in a daze. He started calling out, "Mommy!" Tang Bao's heart skipped a beat. "Do you still want to sleep?" "No." Tang Bao knew that Di Bowling already knew who his mommy was. Seeing that he was a little nervous and embarrassed after calling out to her, Tang Bao couldn't help but laugh. "What's wrong? Will you be unhappy if I call you that?" "Of course not. I'll be very happy. Then I'll call you that every time in the future, even in front of outsiders. Is that okay?" Di Bowling asked expectantly. "Okay, as long as you're happy. You can call me whatever you want." Tang Bao pinched his tender little face lovingly. The door to the lounge was pushed open, and Di Hao Ian's tall black figure walked in. Seeing that the two people on the bed had woken up, his dark eyes rippled slightly. As for Di Bowling, when he saw Di Hao Ian, his body tensed up, and his gaze was somewhat evasive. Di Hao Ian glanced at him. "Do you want to get up?" Tang Bao said, "He can't sleep. You don't look like you have enough clothes. Let me help you." Di Hao Ian took his clothes and helped him put them on. Di Bowling did not move. He sat down and allowed Di Hao Ian to help him. Tang Bao was very surprised. Usually, when Di Bowling was so close to Di Hao Ian, he would avoid him as far as possible. Why was he so calm today? This was not his style. Di Bowling did not even look at Di Hao Ian. He just let Di Hao Ian help him change his clothes. He was wearing child's pajamas. When Di Bowling came, he did not wear pajamas. In the end, he wore Di Hao Ian's pajamas. Later, Di Hao Ian asked someone to prepare a few sets of pajamas for him. "You should feel honored that I'm helping you put on your clothes." Di Hao Ian said to him as he put on his pajamas. "I didn't ask you to help me put on my clothes," Di Bowling said arrogantly like a rich young master. Di Hao Ian looked at his angry face. When he was done putting on his clothes, he slapped him on the butt. "Ah!" Di Bowling was so scared that he immediately hugged his butt and moved to the side. He looked at Di Hao Ian defensively. Di Hao Ian smiled, stood up, and walked to the bathroom. Tang Bao was washing his face and putting on makeup. "Are you done putting on his clothes?" Tang Bao asked. "Yes." "Do you feel that Bowling has become very strange? After I woke up, he doesn't seem to dislike you so much anymore?" Tang Bao asked. "Maybe it's because I saved him." "You're right." Tang Bao thought about it. This must be the reason. It was after this incident that Di Bowling changed. "Don't hug me. I want to draw my eyebrows." Her body was being hugged from behind. She struggled slightly. Di Hao Ian took the pen that Tang Bao was about to draw and turned Tang Bao to face her. He was going to draw Tang Bao's face. Tang Bao was so scared that he stepped back. "What are you doing?" "I'm drawing your eyebrows." Tang Bao's face heated up. "You know how to draw women's eyebrows? Don't make me look like I can't be seen. You're wearing men's clothing. Of course, you're going to draw a man's eyebrows. It's fine as long as they look like me." Di Hao Ian said as he went to draw her eyebrows. Tang Bao was stunned and did not dare to move. He was afraid that he would ruin the drawing. She thought that Di Hao Ian's face was handsome. His eyebrows were dark without drawing. They were cold and arrogant, sharp and handsome. Did he want her eyebrows to look like his? She felt that it was impossible to replicate. At most, they would look a little alike. Di Bowling walked to the bathroom door and saw Di Hao Ian drawing Tang Bao's eyebrows. If it was in the past, he would have immediately rushed up and pushed Di Hao Ian away. But now he kept thinking about the words that Di Hao Ian said to Hee-ju in the office. He did wake up because he seemed to have heard Di Junbai's voice. But he did not expect to hear that kind of words. If he was really Di Hao Ian's son, why did he grow up by Di Junbai's side? Was Di Hao Ian good to him because he was his son? Di Bowling was very conflicted. He was also very distressed about such a complicated relationship. Then, he quietly walked out of the lounge alone. Di Hao Ian's deep gaze looked at the door. He pretended that nothing had happened and continued to draw Tang Bao's eyebrows. After he finished drawing, Tang Bao looked at the mirror. She was actually amazed. It was similar to what she had imagined. It could not be replicated, but it was very similar. Tang Bao used to draw eyebrows to make herself look more masculine. But now, after Di Hao Ian's drawing, there was a cool handsomeness in the charm. "Does it look good?" Di Hao Ian's strong chest pressed against her again. He deliberately put pressure on Tang Bao so that she had to support herself with both hands. It looks good. Next time, draw like this. Tang Bao did not have any objections. But if you press on me like this, I have a problem. Her face was slightly hot. You, don't press on me like this. Get up. This posture is not bad, Di Hao Ian said bossily. Tang Bao's face was slightly red. She moved away from him and went to the lounge. But she did not see Di Bowling. Where's Bowling? He's outside. Tang Bao opened the door and walked out. She saw Di Bowling sitting on the sofa in a daze. There were all kinds of food on the coffee table. Tang Bao's favorite food and Di Bowling's favorite food. Tang Bao walked over. These are our favorite food. Why aren't you eating? I'm not in the mood to eat. Di Bowling puffed up his cheeks. Tang Bao laughed at his cuteness. Why aren't you in the mood to eat? Is it because of what happened during the day? Not really. Tang Bao was confused. What kind of answer was that? Then can you tell me what happened? Tang Bao asked. Chapter 1059. No matter how he looked at him, Tang Bao did not look good. Di Hao Hian sat down and said, Do you want me to feed you? I can eat by myself. Di Bowling said as he went to get food. He was the one who wore the clothes, and now he had to feed him food. When he was at home, he was always dressed by others, and before he said anything about food, he had to be fed. When the two babies are about to end class, we'll pick them up and then go back to the castle, Di Hao Ian said. I won't go. Di Bowling's mouth was full of food as he said with a puffy face. Tang Bao was slightly stunned. Why not? Didn't you say that you wanted to go? Di Bowling changed his mind. In the words of their adults, his heart was in a mess at this moment. Was he Di Junbai's son or Di Hao Ian's son? How can you go back on your words? You have to go. Di Hao Ian did not give him a chance to resist. Di Bowling chewed the food in his mouth and was very unconvinced. When I go back on my words, I'll go. That's more like it. Di Bowling did not look at him anymore and looked at Tang Bao. Tang Bao smiled and wiped the foam on his little mouth, then gave him milk. Drink more. You can grow taller in the future. Di Bowling did not have any objections. He did not like short melons anyway. Then he glanced at Di Hao Hian with his big eyes and quickly looked away. Anyway, he was smarter and taller than Di Hao Ian. Otherwise, wouldn't he be bullied too pitifully? Di Hao Hian said, Do you want to give Di Junbai a call? Or you can go to his office to look for him. Tang Bao immediately said, Just a call will do, right? There's no need to go to his office. Di Hao Hian only asked Di Bowling, What do you think? Mommy said to make the call, so I'll make the call. Di Bowling said. Di Hao Ian was a little surprised that he had changed the way he usually addressed Tang Bao. Then, he said, Do you want to call me Daddy? I have a daddy. Di Junbai is my daddy. Di Bowling said excitedly, as if he wanted to prove something. Then you're not allowed to call me Mommy. Di Hao Ian's face darkened. Before Di Bowling could react, it was Tang Bao who was unhappy. He glared at Di Hao Ian and said, Hey, how can you say that? He's our son, so why can't he call me Mommy? Di Bowling pulled a long face. He felt that Di Hao Ian was too hateful. Why can't I call you Mommy? Tang Bao is my mommy. She's indeed your mommy. You can call her that too, but you're only allowed to call me Daddy. Di Hao Ian demanded strongly. His face was also very stern, as if this was a very serious matter. When Di Bowling heard him call him Daddy, his little eyes flashed because he thought of the secret he had eavesdropped on. He muttered softly, I have my own daddy, and what does that have to do with calling me Mommy? Tang Bao was also thinking about the reason. Then, something flashed through her mind. Could it be what she thought? With Di Hao Ian's strong possessiveness, it was all too normal. If you call Tang Bao Mommy and Di Junbai Daddy, then what am I? Those who don't know better would think that you're family. Don't even think about it with me, Di Hao Ian said with a cold face. Tang Bao cursed in her heart. It was really as she thought. Actually, Di Hao Ian was right. If that was really the case, she would also feel uncomfortable. But she couldn't possibly ask Di Bowling not to call her Mommy, right? They were the ones who had let this child down. Di Hao Ian, it's okay. Before Tang Bao could finish her sentence, She met Di Hao Yan's sharp gaze. Her words were stuck for a moment, but she was still very unhappy. She insisted on finishing her sentence. He's just a child. He doesn't know these things. Besides, he's just calling you mommy. It's not like he can really do anything. No. Di Hao Yan spat out Ju. Tang Bao was speechless. When this person's possessiveness flared up, it was really hard to resist. Deep Bowling, who was listening quietly, said, "Don't you just want me to call you daddy? Then you can call me that," Di Hao Yan said calmly. Deep Bowling's little face was red, but he refused to call him that. Tang Bao loved her son very much. She said to Di Bowling, "Listen to me. Call me whatever you want." Di Hao Yan's expression was very ugly. "Bao, are you itching again? Do you want me to help you scratch it tonight?" Tang Bao, of course, understood Di Hao Yan's meaning. Her face instantly turned red, almost as red as Di Bowling. "What are you talking about? The child is here." Tang Bao glanced at Di Bowling's face. Fortunately, the child did not understand. But she was also panicking. "What do you say? I won't force you to call me daddy. Either you're not allowed to call Di Junbai daddy, or you're not allowed to call me mommy. Choose one," Di Hao Yan said as he crossed his legs and looked at Di Bowling's angry and helpless little face. Tang Bao was almost speechless. "You're not forcing him? That's too much, okay? You're obviously bullying the child." For some reason, Tang Bao felt like laughing when he saw Di Bowling looking like he couldn't make a choice. But wasn't it a little inappropriate to laugh at this time? Wouldn't it hurt the little guy's little heart? Why don't I call you daddy in private and not let anyone else hear?" Di Bowling said after holding it in for a long time. Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Yan's slightly restrained expression. The coldness on her face was very obvious, but she did not say anything. Di Bowling said this because he still wanted to call Di Junbai daddy. Even if he gave up, he could still call her mommy legitimately. It could be seen that Di Junbai was still very important to him. "Hurry up and eat. Is this delicious?" Tang Bao tried to divert Di Bowling's attention. Di Bowling glanced at Di Hao Yan and ate silently. After leaving tea to pick up the two babies from school, the car door opened in the underground parking lot. Di Bowling's short little legs struggled to climb up, so Di Hao Yan carried him up. After Di Bowling got up, he sat down obediently. He didn't look like the little devil he usually was. The three of them sat in the same car and headed to school. Di Junbai agreed to let Di Bowling stay in the castle. Di Bowling was surprised. In fact, he was curious as to why Di Junbai would agree. In the past, he was unwilling. He also wondered if Di Junbai was not his biological daddy. If not, what should he do? After picking up the two babies from school, they returned to the castle. As soon as they arrived at the castle, Zhongli took the children to wash their hands. Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Qian next to him. He thought for a while and said, "Di Hao Qian, take it slow." The children didn't do it on purpose. "Do I look like such a fragile person?" "Huh? He's called Di Junbai. If he didn't call you, wouldn't you feel uncomfortable?" Tang Bao asked suspiciously. Chapter 1060. Tang Bao thought about it and agreed. Di Hao Yan was such a domineering person. His psychological endurance must be very strong. Besides, if he wanted Di Bowling to come back, he could do it immediately. He was thinking about Di Bowling and her. She was afraid that Di Bowling would be traumatized and hate Di Hao Yan. "He will come back to us eventually," Tang Bao said. "Okay." Di Hao Yan pinched her chin, his dark eyes warm and deep as they enveloped her. After Mia went back, she was very excited. She didn't expect Di Hao Yan to be so sexy and handsome. She felt like she was falling for the king of D City. She was really falling for him. In the past, being a celebrity was very important to her, but now it was more important to become the king of D City's woman. No wonder Lan Wanru was so scheming behind her back for the king of D City. Although Lan Wanru didn't say that she liked Di Hao Yan, she could tell. If it were her, she would also try her best to get close to the king of D City. During the break on set, Mia saw Chengju and walked over to talk to her. "Chengju, we have a scene together later. Your acting is really good. I should learn from you." Chengju glanced at her without much expression on his face. "No, Your acting skills are not bad. I admire you. How could she not be impressed? She was obviously a very scheming woman who did so many things under the table online, but on the surface, she was very gentle and easy to talk to. Such acting skills were definitely amazing. Chung Ju sighed. I think there are still a lot of rumors on the internet. This is very bad for President Tang's image. There are even investors who forbid the artists of Aibao Studio from acting in any commercial activities. I just want it. Those investors don't even know if they have the right to do so. Aibao Studio has T's support. Qingju, don't worry. Rumors are just rumors. Mia even pretended to comfort her. Qingju had never made enemies of others. She didn't want to bring trouble to Tang Ge and exhaust him. At this critical juncture, she would not expose anything. She believed that Tang Ji's current inaction was to counterattack the Mia. Qingju, I heard that Tang Ge likes men. Is that true? You said it yourself that it's just a rumor. Why do you believe it? Qingju asked. I know, but some rumors don't come out of nowhere, don't you think? I don't know much about President Tang. I heard that Tang Ge has a good relationship with King of City. Does King of City go to Tang Ji's studio often? I've been filming and haven't been back to the studio often, so I'm not sure. Qingju, I know an investor who is very popular in the entertainment industry. As long as he gives you a role, you can get it. Why don't we have a meal together? No need. I'm very satisfied with my current opportunity. Mia was furious. What kind of person was he? He had the chance to climb up the ladder, and he didn't want it. Did he still want to rely on T Group to fly up the tree and become a phoenix? Qingju was really unmoved by force or persuasion. She couldn't get any information out of her. She was so angry. Mia thought to herself, wait until I replace Tang Ji's position. Let's see if he can survive. When that time comes, even if you regret it and beg me, I won't even look at you. But what should she think of to get close to Di Haoyan? She had to rely on Lan Wanru for help. She wasn't working for Lan Wanru now, but for herself. Anyway, Lan Wanru was using her. Why couldn't she use him back? So she called Lan Wanru. That day, I deliberately bumped into the young master at the bar. Guess what? The young master looked at my face and couldn't bear to look away. Really? Lan Wanru began to feel jealous. Yes, and he even asked my name. But I don't understand. Logically speaking, he should have taken the initiative to look for me, but I didn't see him. Miss Lan, should I find a chance to get close to the young master? Of course. Then what method do you think I should use? I'm afraid it'll be too sudden. Aren't you Xiao Bao's biological sister? Don't you know how to use such an advantageous condition? Lan Wanru reminded her. Mia thought about it. That's right. How could she forget this? Anyway, Tanga knew who she was. But, in this way, won't the young master know that I have plastic surgery? So what if you have plastic surgery? Do you think the young master will care? If he really cared, he wouldn't have found a man, Lan Wanru sneered. He didn't even care about gender. Why would he care if you had plastic surgery? Compared to gender, plastic surgery was nothing. Mia thought about it and agreed. As long as the face was similar to Di Haoyan's wife's face, he would be infatuated. Coupled with her methods, she was full of confidence. However, it wasn't so easy to get close to Xiao Bao, because the Di family would definitely not agree. Once she got close, she might even be warned that her life was in danger. Thus, she thought of someone. That was her second sister, Chen Zizhao. Chen Zizhao was 1 year younger than her. Like her, she also came out to work very early. She worked as a waitress in a restaurant and was honest. Otherwise, she wouldn't still be a waitress until now. Mia usually looked down on this second sister. However, although she was honest, she was indeed good to her family. In the past, Mia didn't have money outside. Every time she asked her for money, she would give it to her. Then, Mia would use the money that she got from free money to buy new clothes for herself. Chen Zizhao was frugal. The clothes on her body were all from street stalls. Some of them were even washed until they were white. One could tell at a glance that she was dressed like a villager. Mia directly brought Chen Zizhao to D-City. In order to show off her current status, Mia especially asked her chauffeur to pick her up. Chen Zizhao had seen a car before, but she had never sat in one before. From the moment she got into the car to Mia's house, She thought that she had gone to the wrong place. When she opened the door and saw Mia, she was shocked. Who are you? Second sister, it's me, Zhouty. I'm your elder sister. What? Your voice is that of an elder sister, but your face. Come in first. Mia pulled her in. When she saw the bag she was carrying, she couldn't help but look at her with disdain. These things in her house were like garbage that polluted her eyes. However, for her own purpose, she had already prepared herself to endure it. Chen Zizhao was still staring at Mia's face. She didn't know what was going on. Stop looking. Sit down first. Chen Zizhao sat down on the sofa, trembling. She felt that the sofa was especially soft and clean. She carefully touched it with her hands. Chapter 1061. I'm a female celebrity now. I'm filming a movie. When the movie airs, I'll be on TV. I'll be famous, Mia said with great ambition. Really? You'll be on TV? But why do you need plastic surgery? You used to have a pretty face. Now I don't even recognize you, Chen Zizhao said in confusion. What do you know? As a celebrity, the prettier the better. Also, I like how I look now. Chen Zizhao didn't dwell on it anymore. As long as she liked it, he was happy. Sis, you're amazing. You're actually a celebrity now. I've always known that you're the smartest among all of us sisters. Mia felt good hearing that. That's why I brought you here. I'm living a good life now. I can't let you be a waitress, right? It's good that you think of me. I don't care. I don't know how to do anything other than being a waitress. Chen Zizhao was very happy. Don't you know how to cook? I'll send you to school. It's easy there, the environment is good, and the salary is much higher than being a waitress. The most important thing is... Mia, stop. What? Do you still remember our little sister? The one who was sold? Mia asked. I remember. Mom was looking for her everywhere. She even went on TV, but she couldn't find her. Mom was very sad. Chen Zizhao said dejectedly. Actually, she found her. She just couldn't bring her back. Found her? Couldn't bring her back? What do you mean? I don't understand. Now, our little sister was adopted by a rich family. Although that family doesn't treat her well, in reality, she's very bad. They don't even give her good food. The place I recommend to cook is our little sister's school. You can cook there and bring her good food. Mia was a little worried. I know I should go, but I'm filming now. I can't go. You don't even know how to cook. If you cook so badly, they won't want you even if you go. As long as what you said is true, my little sister will attend classes there, and I will go to school to cook. Then you can build a good relationship with my little sister and tell her who you are. When the time comes, she will take the initiative to leave with you. That way, his mother wouldn't be so upset. No matter what, if it wasn't for Dad, why would little sister be sold? We're a family. A family can't be separated. Don't you think so? Mia said sadly. You're right. Anyway, I can't let my little sister suffer outside. I want to bring her home. Chen Zizhao said with determination. When Mia saw that Chen Zizhao had been tricked, a scheming smile appeared on her face. So what if she was his biological sister? Besides, if she successfully moved into the castle, her family would live a happy life for the rest of their lives. Sister, your face is really beautiful. Chen Zizhao couldn't get enough of it no matter how much he looked at it. Moreover, he was not used to it. He had to look at it more often. Don't talk about this face or that face. This is my face. Don't say it like that next time, Mia said unhappily. Also, I've changed my name to Mia. Don't tell others my original name. Is the original name not good? Also, is there anyone with the surname Mi? The illiterate Chen Zizhao asked doubtfully. Why not? That's enough. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. I'll do my best to arrange for you to work at the school, but there's one thing I need to tell you. Your task is to get close to little sister. Don't tell others about us, so as to avoid unnecessary trouble. Oh, I know. But how do I find little sister? Little sister's current name is Di Yunqi. She's in the lowest class. Just ask around. If you want to enter an Ivy League school, you need to bribe them and get in through the back door. Otherwise, people like Chen Zizhao wouldn't be able to get in. Fortunately, she was good at cooking. Because she used to cook children's meals in restaurants, she knew a little about cooking. Therefore, She was arranged to do an internship first. If there were no problems after 3 months, she could become a regular worker. The kitchen facilities in the Ivy League school were separated. Kindergarten was kindergarten, primary school was primary school, and the food was different. The nutrition was also different. Chun Zizhao looked at the exquisite food in amazement. No matter how good the restaurant she worked in, she didn't have to pay so much attention to the food. Mia said that little sister didn't eat well. Was it true or not? However, Chun Zizhao always believed Mia's words. Otherwise, when Mia asked her for money, she wouldn't have foolishly given it to her. Moreover, even if she felt that Mia spent too much money, she wouldn't say anything. After all, they were family. Giving money to spend was the same. When the children's class was over, Tang Bao stood beside the car and watched the children come out. When they saw her, they ran over happily. "Mommy, Mommy!" Di Hao Ian opened the car door. "Get in." He carried the 2 little guys into the car. Di Bowling walked in front of Di Junbai. Di Junbai opened the car door for him. Di Bowling glanced at them before getting into the car. Then he got into the car. Di Junbai looked at Di Hao Ian and Tang Bao and nodded at them. Then he got into the driver's seat and drove away. Tang Bao watched the car leave. Her heart was heavy. Di Hao Ian put an arm around her. "Let's go." Di Bowling was a little quiet in the car. He looked out the car window. Di Junbai glanced at him through the rearview mirror and pretended to be chatting as usual. "How was school today?" "Pretty good." Di Bowling came back to his senses. "If there's anything on your mind, you can tell Daddy." "Nothing. It's just something with the children at school," Di Bowling said simply. Di Junbai smiled. "Did you quarrel with the children?" "It's boring at school, but it's a path that every child has to take. School is a must." "Oh." Di Bowling did not insist. Di Hao Ian restrained his expression and did not say anything else. When Tang Bao brought the 2 babies into the hall, Di Hao Ian slowed down slightly. He Ju caught up with him. "Young master, Di Junbai seems to be very well behaved. He didn't do anything. We've checked all the clues about those crazy fans. There's nothing suspicious about Di Junbai." Di Hao Ian's expression was cold and frightening. They couldn't find anything. This was not a good feeling. It was as if he was being controlled. He, Di Hao Ian, had always been the one controlling others. However, he knew that this definitely had something to do with Di Junbai. Even if it had nothing to do with him, he could not let Di Bowling continue to stay by his side. He deliberately let Di Bowling hear the truth that day so that he could prepare for his return. As his son, it was not right for him to not be able to accept this. Chapter 1062. Di Hao Ian looked at Tang Bao. "I asked He Ju to bring Bowling back." "You mean?" Tang Bao's heart skipped a beat. "Bring him back now? Will Bowling be willing to do that?" "Even if he doesn't want to, it's not up to him to choose." "Why?" Tang Bao didn't understand. He Ju glanced at Di Hao Ian and said, "Young madam, Di Junbai was the one behind the attack by the fans." "What?" "Old Zhou went to pick up Bowling, but Di Junbai didn't know about it?" Tang Bao asked. "Bowling said that he didn't tell anyone else. So how did it have anything to do with Di Junbai?" "When old Zhou went to pick up Bowling from school, Di Junbai happened to come home to get some company documents. So old Zhou told him," He Ju said. Tang Bao couldn't believe that Di Junbai would do something like that. His face turned pale. Didn't he say that he treated Bowling like his own son? How could he do something like that? "Bao." Di Hao Ian put his arm around her. "Calm down. Di Junbai is using the child to deal with me. He doesn't really care about Bowling. But don't worry, we don't have to tell him the truth when we bring Bowling back." "Are you saying that we should let him stay in the castle like before?" Tang Bao asked calmly. "Yes, and then I'll find time to tell him whose son he is." Tang Bao had no choice but to nod. If it was Di Junbai who did it, then Di Bowling's situation would be very dangerous. She thought that Di Junbai would really treat her son well. After all, he was just a child. Why would he be so cruel to him? Di Hao Hian instructed, "Don't use force if you can." What he meant was that if he didn't want to come back, then use force. In any case, they had to bring Di Bowling back. "Yes." In fact, when Di Junbai saw Hee-ju walking over, he knew that he had made the wrong move. He should not have let anything happen to Di Bowling. If anything happened, Di Hao-ian would bring Di Bowling back regardless of the consequences. Hee-ju said that he would bring Di Bowling back to the castle to stay for a while, but he knew that this was not a matter of a short period of time, but a long period of time. Judging from Hee-ju's attitude, Di Hao-ian would not tell Di Bowling the truth. But as time passed, no one could be sure. Since it was a long time, he still had time. Therefore, Hee-ju had no choice but to yield to him. If he didn't, Hee-ju wouldn't leave just because of Di Bowling's rejection like last time. I'd better not go, Di Bowling said. Bowling, go and have some fun. He's your uncle, so it's okay. Besides, Daddy is a little busy these days, so it's good for you to stay there, Di Junbai said. Li Yuhuai was unhappy when he heard that. What are you talking about? Can't I watch when you're busy? I don't agree with Bowling going. As he spoke, he pulled Di Bowling behind him, hiding him from Hee-ju. Lan Wanru didn't want to make things awkward, so he asked Hee-ju, did Brother Hao-ian say how long he'll be staying? If it's too long, we'll think about it too. What he meant was that they couldn't go to the castle. If they could send a child to stay there. I'm not sure about that. I'm just following orders. Hee-ju looked at Di Junbai. Second master, I don't want to use force. You should persuade your family. If things get too tense, it won't look good. I know. Di Junbai stepped forward and pulled Li Yuhuai over. He patted Di Bowling gently. Go and play with him. When Daddy's done, I'll bring you back. Then Di Bowling followed Hee-ju away. Li Yuhuai was furious. She flung Di Junbai's hand away. What the hell are you doing? What do you mean by staying for a while? Are you trying to give your own son to someone else? Don't tell me they have something on you. That's why you're doing this. What exactly are you thinking? Di Junbai's face was expressionless. He looked straight ahead, and his figure was slightly dark. Lan Wanru pulled Li Yuhuai away and comforted her. Auntie, this is a small matter. Bowling will be back in 2 days. What if he doesn't come back? What if Di Hao-ian doesn't let go? Li Yuhuai retorted. I don't think so. Lan Wanru felt that it didn't make sense. Unless someone really had something on Di Junbai that could be used against him. Di Junbai rubbed the space between his eyebrows, as if he was tired. If he wants to be like this, what can I do? I can only think of letting Bowling go over play with my 2 brothers. He'll be back in a few days. Play with them? Do you think Bowling is their servant? Li Yuhuai was furious when she heard this. What do you think my precious grandson is? They're going too far. No, I won't let them have an easy time. For my grandson, I'm willing to do anything. Thus, the next day, Li Yuhuai went to Bao's studio to make a scene. Tang Bao was in the office, sorting out the comments from Mia. Meng Shi Show had also been aired, and the ratings were good. This was the time to give it another push. It was a free promotion. She was in a good mood today. Even though she had collected so many insulting topics from Mia's alternate account, she was still very happy. This was because Di Bowling had returned to live in the castle. Moreover, Di Hao-ian promised her that he would not be sent back. How could Tang Bao not be happy? The moment Li Yuhuai entered, before Xiao Ding could ask who she was, Li Yuhuai picked up the potted plant on the desk and smashed it to the ground. Hey, what are you doing? Xiao Ding went forward to stop her, but was pushed away by Li Yuhuai. What was the scariest thing in the world? A shrew. What am I doing? I can't deal with Di Hao-ian, so I can only look for his gigolo. Get that gigolo to come out. You're crazy. What gigolo? The staff member was baffled. I'm crazy? Get Tang Gu to come out. He's a gigolo, A-B***TCH. If he's not stealing men, he's stealing children. How can you be so shameless? As the Yuhuai spoke, she smashed another vase. Tang Bao, who was in the office, was shocked when he heard the commotion and hurriedly ran out. When he saw who was making a scene downstairs, he was stunned. She actually came here to act crazy. Tang Bao immediately understood why. Tang Bao walked down. Second aunt, what are you doing? Coming to my company to make a scene. Isn't that too unseemly? Second aunt? Did you hear how shameless she is? She actually called me second aunt. Who's your second aunt? Are you directly admitting that you're Di Hao-ian's gigolo? I don't know what you're talking about. Tang Bao refused to admit it. Fine. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. Give bowling back to me. Give it back to me, and I'll leave right now. I'll also apologize to you. Otherwise, I'll tear down your company. Li Yuhai was so angry that she wanted to jump up. What a shrew. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.